Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here in my home in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Hopefully, y'all are doing well out there and that you're having a good Wednesday. It's Wednesday, March 26th, and we're here with another installment of our live events. If you're new to us, please say hello and let us know where you're tuning in from. We do these live events pretty much every weekday, 7:30, around 7:30 Eastern, every weekday. And it's something that we really enjoy doing, and we love to get to know all of you out there who are watching. So thanks so much for tuning in. Tonight we're going to do, I thought we could explore the Radical Joy Kit. The Radical Joy Kit I thought was sold out, but there are a few left. Those are in the www.allegorygallery.com online store. If you're not familiar with us, we have a website with thousands and thousands of goodies that you can see. Let me go live on Instagram. There we go. So if you haven't checked that out for a while, we've added some things and changed stuff around. So just take a look at that. And yeah, we're excited to be able to offer all the things that we do there. All right, let's see if anybody is watching. I see Susie, our neighbor, is watching. Howdy, Susie. Michelle's watching. Howdy, Michelle. She said she liked and share. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So if you haven't gotten a chance to like and share our video tonight, that is always appreciated. It does help us as a small business get the word out about who we are and what we do. And yeah, so I think it'll be a fun night tonight. So we'll work for the first little bit with the Radical Joy Kit. And then we'll move along to the we'll move along to some mixed lots when William gets in. He's at his pottery class right now. And hopefully he gets back in time to take dinner out of the oven. I kind of made this concoction casserole in the oven tonight. So hopefully that'll be good. Um, Otherwise, it'll be a trip to Sheets. It's a local gas station, but they actually serve food at the gas station, and it's pretty good. So that's always our backup plan in case something doesn't work out. But yeah, so we're going to do that tonight. And yeah, we had a pretty good week so far. If you did not get a chance to see last night, we had a gemstone palooza, and we had 40 new lots of different gemstones, and I think some of those are really cool. So if you didn't get to see that last night, definitely check it out on the replay. We have lots of fun things that are still available. William is going to put it, whatever didn't sell last night or get claimed today, he's going to slowly migrate some of those things over to the D stash. Our D stash is not, I mean, it's kind of a D, I don't know how to describe it. It started off as something that I did on my own Steam, and it was just stuff so that I could move things out. And over time, it evolved into a group where we post things that are in the shop, and it's just a different format to connect with folks. So it is a private group. So if you are not in it, if you're not on Facebook, that's where it is. And also, speaking of that, if you have your profile locked down real tight, I know I kind of locked down my profile a little bit because we've had some issues, particularly recently. So I've locked down my profile pretty tightly. So if you are one of those people who do that as well, be sure to either send us a message or an email at info@allegorygallery.com and let us know who you are and that you're a regular viewer. Because if you have like a mysterious picture of like the sunset and like your name spelled backwards in Pig Latin, um, we may not know who you are. And then if we don't know who you are, we're not going to let you in, because we try to keep that group pretty closely protected, because we don't want a bunch of um, spamorama coming in. And so, yeah, so just keep that in mind if you have your profile kind of locked down. And let us know that you're going to be trying to get into the group, and we'll let you in. All right. And so he'll do that probably this weekend sometime, and because he's at the shop on Friday, so he may do that. Maybe, I don't know. I have to talk to him about his schedule, but it's probably Friday and Saturday that he'll add stuff to the group. And I've been thinking about adding stuff like regularly to the group. Maybe not as like an event, but kind of like as an open listing. I don't know the logistics of that yet, but I think it could be a fun way, because not everybody likes to claim stuff via the lives. And I get that. Especially if you're trying to like keep on a budget and stuff, sometimes it can be a little bit daunting when you put a bunch of requests in and you don't get anything, or you put a bunch of requests in and you get everything. So I understand that, and we're gonna try to work with folks, and accommodate every kind of situation we can. So definitely, if you haven't joined that, take a look, because it's a fun place that we hang out. My beaded bliss is here. Howdy. Amanda's watching. Hey, Amanda. We have all kinds of fun friends tuning in tonight. Oh, did I accidentally hit something? Does that work? I can't hear it. Is there background music playing? Let me see. This is a new thing. I don't know if it's is it playing for y'all? Let me know. I didn't mean to hit that, but it is interesting if it is. I'm gonna pause that because I don't know. I have a hard time hearing anyways. So when there's like talk and music, sometimes it's hard to which else is now it is. I can't actually hear it. So I don't know if it's like, you know, thumping and thumping bass or whatever, but I think that's a thing that we'll have to talk about. I'll have to talk to William about that, because one of the things about our lives is one of the things we've talked about before is putting music on our lives. The only issue with that is that sometimes there's like copyright issues and they can flag your video and take it down. And if you have enough of those, then they can close your account down completely. So we don't want to do that. I know some folks, they play fast and loose and they got the radio going on in the background. I was like, I can hear Rihanna singing Stay in the background. And I don't know if Rihanna has an issue with that, but her record label might. So we try to err on the side of caution so that we don't lose all of you out there. It's taken us years and years and years to build up the hashtag AG Bead fam, and we don't want to lose it. So yeah. There's a couple different ways that you can keep in touch with us if you haven't done this already. One of the ways that you can always stay in contact with us is our newsletter. So if you go to our website, it should pop up right away. But if not, then you can scroll down to the very bottom of the page, and there should be a link. Let me see if I can pull it up, because sometimes if I do the talk and it's not true, I don't want to lie to y'all. Let me see. Oh, that just randomly came up. All right. So when you go to the website, the first thing that pops up is a day at the beach mystery box. And we had a bunch of requests for people to order that, and we have one left, and so there you go. So if you want that, you better get it, because I'm gonna take it off, um, because it's always easier to make the boxes up and then know that they're sold than to make the boxes up and then you end up with this random box that like kicks around the studio. So if you want that, let me know, or actually just go ahead over to the website and buy it. We also have, if you scroll down a little bit more on the page, I kind of wish that I could show this so it's not just me describing it gently to you. I would turn the camera on and show you the computer, but we have all kinds of stuff opened, and you probably don't want to see all of our private conversations with people. So if you scroll down, there's the Radical Joy Kit, which is what we're going to be working with tonight. If you checked out the Creative Make Along this past Friday, our friend Lennis happened to use that in one of the designs that she made. So that's pretty fun. Now, if you keep scrolling down, it says our current jewelry making kits, which we have all kinds. And if you keep scrolling down, there's the Kumbu earrings that I made. I made a bunch of them. And then you keep scrolling down. Scroll, 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 all the way down. That says subscribe to our emails, and that's right underneath our latest news. So our latest news is kind of the blogs for the shop, and we post all different kinds of stuff that we are getting up to. The thing that's the last post there is I'm going to be teaching at Sawtooth. In North Carolina, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and that's coming up pretty soon. So if you want to get in on that, definitely sign up before they're sold out, because Sarah over at Sawtooth said that the class is going to run, but she anticipates it selling out. So check that out if you're interested in learning the basics of powder coating. And the way that I show powder coating is very accessible. And you can probably, if you shop around, you can probably get started for less than $50. There are different ways of powder coating, and some of the more advanced ways of powder coating, it's a several $100 investment, and it's kind of a big mess to clean up. So I took a workshop with Brie Flora, and she kind of opened the doors to this new kind of way of powder coating for me. So, because I had done powder coating before, I took a workshop with this artist named Courtney Powell, who is out of the Pittsburgh area, and she does it the electrostatic way. And so when I started working with Brie, it kind of like was the gateway drug. And since I've taken that workshop, I've developed all kinds of different new techniques and tricks of how to use it, particularly in jewelry applications. But if you're not a jewelry maker, you can still use all those things. We'll just be working on a smaller scale because, in classroom setting, it's easier if you have folks that are working around the same size instead of big and little. And, there's quirks about working in every size. So anyways, I'm going to be teaching there in North Carolina. And then if you want, I will also be teaching at Peters Valley in New Jersey. And I hope it runs and that people sign up. This will be one of the big major craft schools that I was invited to teach at. I didn't even have to apply. I got invited to teach there. So I hope that folks will take that. And that's powder coating. And we're going to be doing the basics on the first couple days, but then we're going to go and do a deep dive and do mixed media techniques. So we'll be doing sgraffito and image transfers and all kinds of goodies that I've never seen anybody else do except for me. So if you want the inside scoop on how to do these things, definitely sign up. And they also have scholarships. So I've been really lucky to receive a lot of scholarships and grants to pursue my further craft education. And I think it's very important that those are around so that people, so that people can actually take these classes who may not have the ability to just pay outright. So there are scholarship opportunities. And if you are interested in any scholarship, whether I'm teaching at Sawtooth or Contemporary Craft or Peters Valley, you can let me know and I can hook you up directly with the links to all that stuff because I think education is so important. Um, if it's something I can't personally guarantee that you'll get those because I'm not the final decision maker about those, but if it is something that you're interested in, let me know and I can connect you to whoever is making those decisions and hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll get it. You do have to put in a little bit of work to be able to be eligible to claim scholarships. I know sometimes people think that because I win a lot of scholarships that it's like so easy breezy. And for me, it kind of is at this point because I have all of my materials prepared. So it makes it much easier to do it when you're ready to go. However, if you're not ready to go, don't wait till the last minute to do that because it can be kind of overwhelming and daunting when you have a deadline and you're like trying to rush to get everything ready. So give yourself some grace and let yourself have a little bit extra time. And yeah. All right. So we've done the talk in the beginning, and we've been on for 17 minutes or so. I'm just going to flip the camera around and we can keep talking while we're working because some of the stuff that I've been thinking about doing and like playing around tonight is maybe not it's not super action packed. And I don't want to say that to deter people from watching because of course we want you to watch, but also there's stuff that's kind of repetitive. So I just want to caution you that in that we can keep talking and keep having conversations, but we're I'm gonna flip it around. Basically, I'm gonna flip it around. All right, so yeah, let's do that. All right, you're gonna see the ceiling for a second. I had some issues with my. I hate to do that because it sounds like I'm cracking my neck or something. Maybe one of these days we'll have a more fancy setup. All right. So this is for the color balance. And this is for scale so that you know we're not working either in micro miniature or in great big style. And I'll turn the light on so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And then I'll do this again as well. All right. So I think one thing that we're going to do just to get things started is I'm going to show you some of the stuff from last night. I do not know what has been claimed and what hasn't been claimed, but I thought I'd do this real quick recap of some of the gemstones that we had because I love them and I picked them out. So I hope y'all like them too. So this is from last night's live event. And if you're interested in claiming anything from these, you can still claim them. And I'm going to put the banner up at the bottom. It's a little ticker take parade of how to purchase stuff. Is to purchase items from this video. Oh, don't do that. That's not the way. To purchase from this video, take down each lot number and send it to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. So if you want this, you can send Gem 1, and these are $18 a strand, and I have 3 available as the last count. And these are some really juicy amethyst. Now these are done in a kind of a faceted tube shape, and they're kept kind of rough, which I think is really kind of beautiful. This one has a little bit of that dog tooth chevron kind of business on it, which I think is nice. And then look at the color. I mean, these are not augmented in any way that I'm aware of. And I think it's just so fascinating to see these stones kind of in real life, kind of in see some of that natural quality. Because so often you'll see stuff that's like super highly polished, and you see stuff that's like augmented with dyes or with heat and stuff. And so I like seeing this because it kind of shows that true beauty. And I think there's some really cool things. So just to start tonight, I'm just going to go through some of the lots that we have last night real quick. And hopefully, if you like them, you'll consider purchasing them. It always helps. We buy things kind of in small batches, and mostly we do that because that's what we can afford to offer. Um, and I would love to do one day get where I can buy like, you know, $80,000 worth of stuff and bring it in, but that's just not where we're at right now. So this is pre-night, and there are some really lovely pieces. When there's a green kind of green tourmaline that's in there, they call that epidote or epidote, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but it looks kind of like grass blades, kind of suspended in limeade. I don't know if that sells it or not. I know I would. Or it looks like a festive mojito. I would call this mojito pre-night. And people be like, "What the heck is that?" And I said, "Well, it's my new invention, uh, mojito pre-night. You never heard of it? It's very exclusive." Um, but I love natural stones, and I've always loved them since I was very little, and particularly as a designer, I think you get to really experience some different things. Like I know, and I should also mention that these are even better in person. So sometimes when you see stuff on camera, you're not getting the full shebang, I guess. I don't know, the full force of its beauty. Um, I have an older camera or older phone. It's not that old. Let me clean the lens because William always says I never clean the lens, and it's like y'all are looking at one of them romance scenes and one of those soap operas where they put Vaseline on the lens so it looks all smoky and sultry and seductive. I mean, if that works for y'all and you're gonna buy some more beads, then I do whatever y'all want, but I'll grease up my phone with Vaseline if that means y'all gonna buy stuff. But otherwise, I'll try to clean that so that he's happy and he don't think that I'm trying to like be in the smolder time. I don't know if that's what he actually thinks, but he's like, "You can't see anything." And I was like, "Well, here you go." So this is from last night. It's Gem 2, and they're $18 a strand. I think that's pretty generous considering that you got a nice big full strand of it. And these are knotted in between. So I think that's a pretty good deal for that. I would pay that. Sometimes for us, there are some vendors that we don't really work with, and some people, and I'm not saying this in a disparaging way, but there are some folks who will sell whatever and they don't really care what they're selling. For me, I kind of want to be able to offer stuff that I know and would feel good about selling, but also that I feel good about buying. Um, so if I am, if there's something that I wouldn't pay for, I wouldn't expect you all to pay for it either. So these are black tourmaline. These are a part of those faceted tubes, and they're not tiny. But we did have a request for tubes and gemstone tubes, and so I just wanted to show you all these because they're really lovely. Now this is a shorty strand. By shorty I mean 8 inch. So this is a half strand of this, and it's black tourmaline. We got Anna's watching. Anna says, "Hello, friends. Those are lovely, Andrew. Thank you." And we got somebody else new watch. We have somebody who's new watching. I don't know how to say your name, so I'm not going to say it. So, but anyway, so here we go. We have these black tourmaline faceted tubes. I think these are really lovely. And like I said, you get some earthy elegance that you just wouldn't get if you just faceted the heck out of it and polished it up. So you get a little bit of that earthy elegance. Can I make that a thing? Earthy elegance. I mean, it's a thing already, but can I make it like a viral trend? Like, welcome to the fairy court of the earthy elegance. So these ones, rose quartz, and rose quartz are used a lot in for like love and self-love and healing. And they're really connected with like the heart chakra. I don't know if y'all believe in that kind of stuff, but I do. And so, there's a lot of stuff out there going on in the world right now. And it seems very daunting. Like, you're just a tiny person against this big wave of um, things that feel much bigger than each of us individually. But the thing that I like is that it's these small little acts that um, kind of make us feel like we're contributing to something bigger. And that's kind of the inspiration for the kit that I'm going to work with in just a minute. So the kit that I'm talking about is called the Radical Joy Kit. And for me, really, it's about the idea of the radical joy is that all acts of joy are radical. There's something that, the world can seem hard sometimes and it can seem very daunting and overwhelming. And for a lot of people like me who are a minority, both the way that I identify as a gay man and as a person of color, it can be overwhelming a lot of times. I know I've talked with some of my female identifying women friends, and they as well feel, you know, some of that pressure coming from current events. And so I thought that it would be nice to make something where each kind of little act of creation was an act of revolution and rebellion, in the sense that there are so many people trying to communicate this doom and gloom, but we can create joy and we can make things happy. We can make good things. We're not subject to what other people say. We can do it. And that may go against the grain, but I don't care. It's one of those things that once you realize that you're in control of your life and you have control over how you see the world, things start to change. You start seeing things and opportunities and possibilities, and not kind of edicts and pronouncements. So here you go. Amanda's watching. Howdy, Amanda. So right now we're just going over a couple of the different little bit of some of the gemstones that we had last night. And then the night before that, we had a really wonderful Czech glass show. So we brought in some contemporary Czech glass that is being made right now. And we have a whole variety. I think we had like over 20 something lots of that the other night, maybe less, I can't remember. And we also had some mixed lots that night as well. So if you missed out on those, I think we have a really good week so far of all kinds of different treasures that we have been offering to all of you out there. So if y'all like that, hopefully y'all like that, because that's what we do. And that's kind of my job, is to find stuff so that we can sell it and, do whatever, keep going. Anna says, Andrew, definitely feel under pressure. Radical joy is a powerful thing. Yeah, I feel it as well. I think sometimes it can be very overwhelming for us, I think it's really important to use whatever platform we have to push things forward in a positive way. I think, we're not super celebrities in any stretch of the imagination. We don't have a million followers. We don't have, a lot of, we're not living large on the TikTok. But what platform we do have, we do have access to a couple thousand people. And take a look at these. Aren't they glowing good? Look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pretty awesome. So, what platform we do have, I like to use that as a way to spread inspiration and creativity. When I look at my own life and I think about the hardships that I've overcome as a person and as a maker, I think the different things that have helped me, and creativity is one of those things that has definitely kept me going and kept me kind of creating, and has helped me kind of elevate myself out of hard situations. So I want to spread that if I can. Those are the gifts that I received, and I would like to pass those gifts along to all of you out there. So if that's something that's interesting to you, keep watching and keep following along, because hopefully we're going to keep on that mission and keep going and be a safe space for people to feel comfortable about expressing themselves. So this is some of these opalite, whatever. It's a synthetic, basically a synthetic opal that is manufactured glass that has this beautiful fire. I don't know how they get that fire. I need to research some science and see how they're getting that inner glow. Because if I can make that inner glow on my face, I'd love that. Um, So yeah, so we've got those. I don't know if any of those sold last night, but I love them. They are great because they have great big holes on them. And I told a story last night about these African moon beads, and they're made of this opalescent glass, and they have this like crusty, earthy elegance that I am just like smitten kitten down to town. Good, let's do it. I love them, but they're kind of spendy. So whenever I get a chance, I collect some, and I have a little box at the cottage of these little opalescent glass beads, and the ones from Africa, or the trade beads over there. Anyways, so I brought these in because I love opalescent glass. I like anything that has this kind of inner glow and kind of inner fire and kind of like interesting sparkle effects. I'm really into these like cool properties of glass. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I am really interested in like what that can do. And I actually won a competition, and I think it was called Bead Star. It was back in the day, and I made a whole piece of just opalescent glass. And I'll have to try to find that if I can, because I think that was a really beautiful design, and I did some interesting things with it. At least I thought. So, anyways, those are available if you're interested. And to claim those, you just have to send us an email at info@allegorygallery.com. And I don't think anybody claimed any of those last night. But so, anyways, we talked a little bit about some of the lots that we had last night. I'm going to jump into the Radical Joy kit that we're using tonight. If you didn't hear, we're going to have some ceramic goodies from Harry Wood, tomorrow evening. So if you are a big fan of ceramics, or just of Harry in general, check that out tomorrow night. We're going to be live at 7:30 tomorrow night with goodies from Harry Wood. And if you don't know his work, he's really a prolific artist who does drawings and paintings and AI and ceramics. And he also used to find a lot of antique Charlottes from Nuremberg, Germany. and would sell those and did some mixed media art. I think he was a teacher at one point, and he always takes really beautiful pictures of the moon. And this is one of his pieces. I don't know if William claimed this for us, but I think we should get this if we didn't already claim it, because I think it's so cute. This is I love anthropomorphic creatures that are part animal and part human. Um, so I like that. And wings. Who don't like some wings? I would like some wings. I don't know how good I'd be at flying, but I would like that. When I watch Superman and they go and they fly up in the air and stuff, I'm like, how do they stay warm? Like, I don't know. Maybe he's got like some heat shield that he like radiates. But what about Lois Lane? Is she just gonna be like frozen tater tot style? He gonna fly around the frozen tater tot Lois Lane? I don't know. I guess that's how come it's the part of you guys suspend your disbelief a little bit. Cheryl is watching. She says, "Hi, Andrew. I'm working in the yard and doing errands tonight, so I'll watch the replay if you design tomorrow. Hope you have a great evening." I'm designing tonight. Oh, I'll replay of your design tomorrow. Let's see how many we make. I don't know what I'll make, but it's good. Thanks for checking in. Lennis is watching. Howdy, Lennis. Let me get rid of the banner at the bottom, the ticker tape parade, so that you get a little bit extra room at the bottom since we're not doing that part of the evening. So if you didn't see or hear, Lennis, she made something really nice on the creative make along this past Friday. So if you didn't see that, she worked with that and she customized this pendant. There's an acrylic pendant in here that we cut with a laser in-house. We make these all by our little lonesomes. We ordered this acrylic in from Canada before all the wackadoodleness started happening. So I don't know if we'll be able to get this in again. At least not affordably. I don't know. I have to check into that. We still have a little bit left, so I'm not actively pursuing refilling the coffers of acrylic just yet. Because I got other priorities, y'all. Got other priorities. I'm trying to make enough money so that I can buy some copper. And I have a bunch of scrap, and I'm kind of curious about if I can melt it down. Generally speaking, they don't really melt down a lot of copper, just straight up copper, because there's a lot of oxides and stuff that gets in it. So I have to kind of research that and see if there's a way that I can mitigate that or do it in a way that I'll be able to still have usable pieces of copper, because sometimes you can melt it down and do everything you want, but then you stick it in the kiln and it'll puff up like a puff pastry. And I don't necessarily want that to happen. So, anyways, that's a goal that I have. I'm gonna try to do it this weekend if I can make it happen. I have a meeting. I have two meetings actually. One of the meetings is on Saturday night, and that's our Inspired by Reading book club. And I'm going to try to make something nice for that as well. I have to think on that a little bit because that's coming up soon. And I love the book. I thought it was really inspiring, and I thought there was some really interesting things. But anyway, so if you didn't see on Friday, Lennis augmented this acrylic piece and painted it, and I think that it turned out really nice. And if you're in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group, let me go put that up in case you didn't know. Let's see. Let me see. Banners. Where is it? If you're not a member of this down here, www.facebook.com/groups Black Splash. I can't say it. Backslash Allegory Gallery Design Challenges. She posted her finished design there, I think. And it turned out really good. So check that out. That's what we're going to be working with tonight. So, in addition to this acrylic pendant that we cut out, our friend Susie Wyatt's watching. Howdy. In addition to that, let me get rid of this banner. I also have a luxury bead blend that I made. This is kind of a Wild West one. It's got all kinds of colors in there. I was thinking of like doing something that was like joyful and festive and had lots of colors and rainbow, but kind of like some neons in there and some pinks. I know some folks don't like pink, but I do. So I didn't like it for years and years, and now I just love it. So there's lots of different goodies in that, and we'll be using that tonight as well. We also have some vintage lucite flowers. I got these back in the day. There's a lady, her name Kelly Burns. I don't know if she's still around, but she had a shop over in Oklahoma, and I used to see her and her husband all the time. But I don't think they're on social media anymore. So if they are around, I don't hear from them anymore. But I used to see them all the time. So I got a bunch of vintage lucite flowers from them way back when, and we included those in the kits. There's also some gem cut. So these are gem cut. And these are probably, they may seem kind of basic. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're kind of, they're not like twisted spiral, upside down, corkscrew, inside out, backwards, two hole bees. They're kind of just these little faceted rondelle shapes. And I think they're so fun because they add a little pop of color. I love color. And they're nice because they're not overwhelming. So you can use a lot of them. You can use them as spacers. You can use them for all different kinds of things. So I love the gem cut in Czech glass. I think it's highly underrated. And look how juicy this is. This is like if you got an orange and you just bit right into it, skin and all. It's gonna you're gonna get all them essential oils in them peels, and you're gonna get all them seeds up in there to make it stuck. Who knows? I don't know your situation. Um, and then there'll be juice drip down your chin, and hopefully it's not rancid. But this one is juicy. People, I don't know if people are watching that after that talk. Um, Susie says, I used to buy a lot of vintage lucite from the Beaten Path. Yeah, Heather D. Simone, who used to own the Beaten Path, she's the one who kind of popped my cherry for vintage lucite and plastic. So she one time I was in Tucson and we went to the Windmill, which is Ava Motherwell's old show. And they used to have like these rooms, like every room in the hotel was kind of rented out, and you'd go into the rooms and wander around. And it's kind of, a little bit sus, but as the children say nowadays, I don't know if the children still say that, but it was kind of sus, but also delightful. So you'd go into these rooms and they would turn them into like individual showrooms, and you go in the hotel room. One time I went, and I'm not gonna. I won't say who it is because they may be watching it every once in a while. They'd be watching, but they used to do that show, and sometimes what they would do is you could stay in the room, like to cut costs back in the day. You could stay in the room that you also use as your showroom, so you didn't have to pay for a hotel and a booth. You could just pay one and done and combine it. And so she was still asleep, and her mom, she said get up, and she didn't want to get up out the bed, so she just threw the blanket over her and then started showing the beads basically on top of her. And this is before that, like you can eat sushi off a naked person. I mean, I think she was clothed, but so it wasn't like that kind of buying beads, but the fun times of the old times is a little bit of character there. um Sue says, are there any of these kits left? There are as of when I started this video. I don't know if they are or not, but as the start of this video, there are some left. Um, and Lana says, they're on the website. Yep. So that's www.allegorygallery.com. And if you type in radical, it should pop right up. But also, if you scroll down, there it's featured several different times. So, anyways, that's why I met Heather D. Simone, and they had this like wine night, and so I went there and I had a couple glasses, and at one point I went around to the thing, and she had these really cool, like they were carved, and they were carved with these like abstract geometric designs, and they were carved on top of like the shampoo effect. And this is when we first opened the store, and I was like, "I like these. What are they?" And she's like, "They're vintage plastic." And I said, "Oh, I don't really like plastic." And so she was talking to me, and she's telling me the history of it and where things were made and how much attention to detail were put into them and all kinds of stuff. And so I would go and I was like, "This is kinda like Alienation." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I could see that." She didn't know what the heck I was talking about. There used to be this show back in the '90s called Alienation, and they used to drink buttermilk, and it was a really weird kinda cop show, but with aliens, and I think there was a movie, and I don't know. It was a time, and I sometimes wonder if I really actually watched this show or if it was just made up into the cosmos of my imagination or whatnot. But anyways, I kept saying, "Oh, this is Alienation. Oh, this is Alienation," and she just went along with it. She just went along with it. And she's like, "Yeah, this is Alienation." I was like, "No, that's not Alienation." She's like, "All right, then she picked something else. This one definitely Alienation." No, no, no. But anyway, so she got me interested in working with vintage plastic, Heather DeSimone, and um, she used to own a shop out in Maine called The Beaten Path. It's no longer around anymore. She has a company called Leedy Lovendale, and she's out of Arizona now. And so, anyways, I was a convert, so I do like the vintage plastic now. I like modern plastic, but sometimes it just depends, where it's coming from and who's making it and if their mold lines and stuff. But I collect vintage plastic now, and it's like such a like once you like dig into it, it's pretty fascinating. Basically, if they could mix it into something, they would. And they would try all kinds of stuff. There's this stuff called Galalite. It's made of milk, y'all. And I was like, "Do what?" And basically, they're using the casein and the milk to make the plastic. But originally, plastic was a plant derivative, believe it or not. And then, so you have all these ones that are called celluloid. And sometimes you have to be careful because sometimes that stuff weeps. And not fun. That's called sticky mess. But so you have to be careful. Like one time I was at um, this warehouse, and I can't remember if it was in New York or if it was in Rhode Island. I can't remember, but I saw this box and I was so excited. They had these beautiful cabochons in it, and I stuck my hand in. I was gonna grab a fistful, and my hand got stuck in that, and it was like basically like I stuck my hand in wet cereal, and I was like, and then I had to like wash my hands in the bathroom. That was this like little. I don't even know how they. I mean, there was a toilet and there was a sink, but that was it. And it was kind of like disasperated style. And anyway, so I went in there and I had my hands so sticky. And the soap they just had that like knockoff dial soap, and it was not cutting this plastic goo off my hand. So I ended up having to I just have a sticky hand for the rest of the day, and like stuff was sticking to my hand. And this reminds me of a story of just recently. I went to this place, um, and they were doing tastings of moonshine, and the person pouring the thing, she spilled some of that stuff all over my hand, because I was holding the cup, and she spilled it all over my hands, and it was sticky as all get out, and because it had a lot of sugar in it. And it tasted good, but it was very, very sticky. And then the rest of the night, like it was kept sticking to my hands. So I kept trying to like take it off on my hands, but it was like stuck on with like super glue. And it was very amusing to everybody else except for me. And I like kept begging her to let me use her rag because they have a rag to wipe down the bar. And like, let me just put my hand in, you can wipe it off if I'm not allowed to grab it. And she's like, there's chemicals in it and you'll poison yourself and I can't be responsible. I was like, oh, please, please. And she's like, you can wash your hand and go to the bathroom, but then you have to turn your cup in and you don't get your cup. You have to basically sit it out if you leave the bar. And I guess or you have to if you leave the like yeah, I guess you call it a bar. It wasn't really like a bar, but it was like a tasting bar. And I didn't want to like stop because then you have to like not be with your people. So I just grin and bared and had sticky fingers until I could wash my hands. But anyways, that's probably more than y'all wanted to know about. Lena says I bought one of her mystery boxes. It was fun. Yeah, I bought some as well. And this is also the gem cut. And this is like in a periwinkle kind of pinky purple color, but in a bigger size. Look at that. Look, that's the juice, y'all. That's the juice of contrast. And then in here, there's some really cool. These are vintage clay beads, probably from the 70s, I want to say. And they dyed the clay in different colors. Like, I don't know how they did that, but they dyed the clay in different colors and then they smushed it up. These are ceramic. They're not like a Themo. They kind of feel a little bit plasticky, but not in like a bad way, but there's like sometimes they have like a plastic coating kind of thing so that stuff don't soak in or to bring out the colors. So you get all these and they're all a little bit irregular, little gumdrop shapes. And then these ones they're vintage Themo. So these are probably from like the 70s or 80s. I don't know. I can't maybe early 90s, but they used to, this is called cane work, so they kind of bootleg the glass technique of millefiori, which means thousand flowers, and basically you take a bunch of rods of glass that are molten and you pull them out and then you stack them together and then they make a shape and then you cut them down into what's called murini, and then there's like a shape on the side. It makes a pattern with the different things. You have to think of it almost like pixelation. Anyways, then they put it on the ball and then they rolled it around. So there you go. And they have nice small holes. Sometimes people get jumbotron holes. The nice thing is about polymer is that if you need a slightly larger hole, you can, generally speaking, drill it out if you're very careful. And then we also have these dyed stone beads that I thought were fun that I put in there. We have these little base metal, swirly kind of charms in there. And I thought that was fun. And then we also have an AG Fine Pewter little bird bead. And that's one of my favorites that we have in our line. And the reason why is it's not super detailed in the sense that like you don't have like all the little details. You don't got the like feet and feathers and all that. But you can definitely tell what that is. And I think it's like such a beautiful kind of um form language. It's like boiled down. It's like, what does a bird look like? Got wings, it's got tails, got head. There you go. It's got a hole, and the hole goes up to down. All right. So that's the kit, the Radical Joy kit. And let's get busy. So we're gonna start off. I'm gonna move this slightly off to the side so that we can get in there good. And I think that's cute. And I like that flavor, and I like this flavor. And then there's some fire polish check glass too. Kind of like that flavor. So that's something that we could think about. And then I also got these. Let me dump this into some, so I'm not going to be picking it up all day. All day, all day. We got this one. Oh, let me use this. This may be distracting, but I don't care. We got this in Baltimore. There is a ceramic artist, and I just love, love, love his work. And we got that, and I think it's just beautiful. So I'm gonna use that. That's very joyful. We can do Radical Joy from that. So when I make a luxury bead blend, I put a lot of goodies in there. I try to put more goodies. And so that you're like bedazzled. Look at that. That's got some Esprit in there. That's got some Chinese crystal too. It's got all kinds of vintage glass. It's got all kinds of goody stuff. I also put in this one some black, and the reason why I do that is so that it's kind of like a neutral, and it kind of tones it down so it's not all Technicolor and like gonna blind you kind of business. So that's one of the reasons why I put that. It's like a grounding force. It's like the friend that can talk you off the ledge and make you not cut your own bangs. So you got that. That's that friend in there. So I think I'm gonna do some bead weaving to start. So I got some Fireline. This is the crystal. Oh boy, I don't know if we got any cutters up here. Let's see. I should have a set that I just leave it in this room and never take it out. We used to, but I don't know what happened. Let me see, get them scissors out. Just enjoy this for the moment. Oh, so pretty, huh? Yeah, it is. Don't worry about it. And I know there's cutters in here because I used them the other night. I have a purple handle. I'm currently manifesting them to appear from the ether. Red Rover, following some cutters over. These scissors will work. All right. Now we got that situated. Are y'all, any of you working on anything tonight? I know a lot of you will work alone. And so I strung up this needle. I think this is a 10. Now this is going to be interesting because I can't actually see what I'm doing. So I can only see through like the viewfinder. And sometimes that's, harder to do. So I'm going to pick up just a random mix of stuff. I'm going to try to get this so that they're not like right next to each other, the same beads, which is fairly easy. And then I'm just going to randomly kind of pick up some stuff. Michelle says she's sorting beads tonight. Oh, that's nice. I did that during the creative make along. And people like, where's Andrew? I thought he comes to this. And I was like, I'm here. I'm just on the floor. All right. And so if you watched on Friday and you didn't see me, I was there. Not just in spirit, but actually there too. And so I strung up about, it's about 1.5 inches or so. About maybe an inch. That's about an inch. And I'm going to pull this down. I'm not going to pull it off the thread because that's called counterproductive. But I'm going to give myself a little bit of a tail because otherwise, no bueno. And then I'm just going to tie a knot. See? And then I'm going to do another knot. So I'm going to go underneath that loop once and then go under it again. Then pull. I'm being kind of careful with this because sometimes you can get it where the loop will go on the other side of the bead and then you'll see the thread, and then that's not necessarily ideal. So there's that. Linda says, I'm packaging stuff and getting shipping labels to print out at the library. Oh, good. All right. So I'm going to do one more knot for luck. And so I made this little, bless its heart. It's all kind of a little lumpy dumpy style, but that's okay. I'm not too tight because sometimes if you're too tight with stuff, it's not good. If it's too loose, it's going to be saggy, drippy, droppy, and that's not great either. So this is, you got to get that tension just right. And since we're going to go through multiple times in theory, then you don't want this to be too tight because then you won't be able to get your needle in. So I'm just passing my needle up into the beads, and I'm going to go around. Oop, I missed one. I'm going to take that off so that it don't get accidentally. So if you need to take a bead off, for example, use the back end of the needle and scoot it back through like you backing up the truck. And that way you don't accidentally sew your bead in, because sometimes if you go and you try to go through using the tippy tip tool, the little tippy tip tool tip of the needle, then you can sew it in, and then you made yourself even a harder job. So right now I'm just going around the circle, around the world in 80 days, and I'm just going to go around, and it's going to reinforce this first start off knot loop. So that way it doesn't come loose, and it makes it super strong, because that's going to be the foundation of where everything grows from. So I'm going to take that tail, I'm actually going to make another knot, and that's going to make it nice and super strong. And the cool thing about this is that the bees have a big enough hole that they hide the knots in the thread, so you don't see a bunch of knots, because sometimes you see beadwork and then you see all that knots and stuff that they use, and I know that they're there for a purpose and it's there for sturdiness, but sometimes you don't want to see that. And I went through about 2 beads, and then I'm going to gently pull, and you can actually, when you pull it, you can actually hear a little click, maybe not a click but a little dink, and that's the knot going through the hole in the bead. So then you definitely are going to hide, you can definitely hide that knot, and you're not going to see it. So that's nice. So you get that, and next thing you're going to do is repeat where you're picking up about an inch of beads, maybe more, maybe less. You're the boss, you get to tell it. I'm not the boss, you're the boss tonight. And unless William's watching, then he's not the boss, I'm the boss. And then so I'm going to string up about an inch or so, maybe more, maybe less. You get to decide. And we're just going to do that. We're going to do that. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Anybody else doing something? The food, I got the food in the oven and it smells good. I did not grow up making casserole or eating casseroles as a child. So I'm kind of fascinated by a casserole. So I kind of made this kind of casserole of some of the leftovers, and we'll see how it goes. So last night I talked about making a netting, and this is kind of like a freeform netting, I think, that I'll do. And so I've got this, and I have some different choices. So if I go like this, the circle is going to change, all right? And what I mean by that is that it's like I'm making circles like this, like a cursive. If I turn this over and then I make the circle, it's going to not be like this. It's going to be like this. So it's like a figure 8 instead. Does that make sense? So depending on how you want your design to look, I can draw it out probably easier than I can describe it. So if this is your circle of beads, you gotta pretend like there's beads. If you go like if the thread direction is going like this, and then you decide to go from here and you make it, it's gonna kind of make this kind of like scallopy shape like this. However, if you turn this over and you go the opposite direction and you make a figure 8, it's going to make loops like this. So this is going kind of in the same direction. You're going to have these kind of shallow kind of crescents down here. But here, if you change it up every time you go and you make figure 8s, then you're going to have more of this kind of like bubbly shape. Now, you may not care, you know, um, but when you're making this, everything is a choice. So if you go like this, your piece is going to have this kind of scallopy moon shape. If you go like this, it's going to have more bubbly. So you get to decide if you're going to have that scallop or those bubbles. So scallops or bubbles, it's up to you, and you can use both. And when you're working kind of in a free form, kind of freestyle way, you get to decide. You can use both. Nobody's gonna get mad at you. Maybe you get mad at you, but that's a different topic. All right. So I'm gonna make a bubbly shape. So I went in there and I'm just gonna go back in through those two beads. Excuse me. See what I mean? More bubbly, less scalpy. And I'm gonna go back through that loop I added. And that is so that I'm gonna make it nice and reinforced. So there's that. The reason why I'm doing that is so it's nice and sturdy. And if we build off of this, the more times you pass a thread through, the stronger your beadwork's going to be, and the less likely you'll have to like mend it. There's nothing quite like having to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go all the way down. Can you see that? The needle? I'm going to go all the way about halfway down, and then I'm going to come back and make another loop. All right? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, maybe I'll do like a little earring design so that, because I love a good, like, solid, like, I want to do the whole thing. Like, I want to make a whole bracelet full of this, but I might do a pair of earrings. And the cool thing is that if you want to switch up the sizes of the beads, you can. So if you want to make this bigger, you can. You would just want to use a little bit thicker of a fire line. That way it holds up and it doesn't get too wavy gravy style, and it's firm enough. So you can use bigger beads if you want. And you can actually use probably soft flex or some other kind of flexible beading wire to start this off. You would just need to use put a crimp tube every once in a while, and that will help determine. But see what I mean when you're going the same direction? See how that makes like a D shape? So if you want that to be not a D shape, you would turn it over, and it would make more of a bubbly shape instead of a D shape. And I don't know if that all matters to y'all, because sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. But you get to make choices. You get to be the one who gets to decide. I put some really good beads in here. Some of these are vintage seed beads. Some of them are Czech. Some of them are Japanese. There's all kinds of goodies. So I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to go back through these pieces that I just added. And then see that I could have probably done a little bit of a different shape, but that's all right. I'm going to go back through one time. I know some of y'all are not seed beaters, and this is probably watching like paint dry. So that's why I try to make it interesting and fun with my conversational style. But, some of y'all are like, what the heck am I watching? Is he going to make me watch paint dry next? I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I've made myself this little triple size. I just have a smaller loop, a slightly larger loop, and a bigger loop. And I'm going to work my way up to the smaller loop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go not in the very tippy tip top. I'm going to go kind of off to the side a little bit. And I'm going to basically do peyote stitch on the outside. And since I did not count, I do not know if this will actually work out evenly, and that's okay. So I'm going to pick up the seed bead and see how the thread is coming out here. I'm going to skip this bead and go into this one. I'm going to pick up a bead. I'm going to skip this one and go into the next one. And if it gets tangled and twisted, see how that's twisted? You're just going to adjust it so that it fits. And then I'm going to do it again. Now, one thing is there's crystals in this and bicones. If you do have bicones in this, maybe skip the bicones because sometimes the edges of the bicones, particularly of the cut crystal like S-word, can sometimes be sharp on the edges and it can actually cut the thread. So you don't want to cut the thread because then you're going to finish your work and then it's going to fall apart and you're going to be like, what did I do? Stella, no. All right, so the thread's coming out this one. I'm gonna skip this one and go through that. And some of the hex cuts are kind of like that too. So just be careful. Be careful. And then there you go. All right. So this one I'm gonna skip that one and go around the world in 80 days. And hopefully it's quicker than 80 days. And then I'm gonna pick up another bead. I'm working relatively in the size that I'm working on. That didn't make no sense. But they're relatively even in size, so I don't have like this great big bead next to these smaller beads. And so I'm just gonna keep going around the edge of this. I'm gonna turn up the pace, pick up the pace a little bit so we're not all just watching the same thing over and over. Where I talk about skipping a bead, y'all have pretty much figured out that that's what we're doing. So you go through and then you skip a bead and then you go underneath the next bead and then you just keep going all the way around the town. And there you go. So that's the first step of that. This is kind of going to be the foundation of this piece. And you can work in, like you can do this in the great big piece. You can work this as a small piece. Right now I'm doing kind of an earring or pendant component. And I'm just getting this kind of peyote situation set up. And then once you get that kind of situated, it goes a lot quicker. And what I mean by that is you don't have to like kind of look, you kind of just do it by feel. You can kind of bead by your heart. Donna says, sorry I'm so late. My daughter took me out to dinner. He's still in the hospital waiting for MRI results and the neurologist consult. His girlfriend can't stay because she just started a new job. So my sister and I are going there tomorrow. He has type 2, which can be managed with medication, good diet, and exercise. Way better than he was yesterday. Oh, good. Well, that's a good positive update. Thank you, Donna. We always think about y'all going through stuff, and we're sending you lots of positive energy out there. So I'm relieved to hear that your son's doing all right. All right. So I'm going around and just adding this kind of outside peyote. And if you want, you can leave it like this, and it's kind of festive. It's got kind of like a bumpy texture to it. It's like at the bubbly times, and I kind of like that myself. So I have some choices I can do. Um, if I go, I'm gonna skip this blue bead. And continue around. And then if I can get that needle through, There's this Korean cooking show that we were started watching. It's like a competition, and it's called like Class Wars. And I may want to watch that tonight because I don't know, I'm maybe in the mood. I don't know. Sometimes I have to be in the mood for certain shows. All right. So once you get to the top, you're gonna have to go. You have to do what's called a step up. So you go through that one. You're gonna skip that black bead and go through the next bead, and make sure that that's sitting next to it, side to side. Julie says, "What you making?" I'm working with a Radical Joy kit, and we made some loops, some beaded loops, and then we're doing peyote on the outside. All right. So once I get to the end of my row, I gotta get up to the next one. So see how there's that one? You're gonna jump up. All right. And I'm gonna pick another bead. And because there's not as much pressure on this, I can use the bicones if I want. And then I just go into the next one right here. Go into the next one. That's the thing I like about peyote stitch when you get to a certain point, then you don't actually have to look at it. You can just go, you can just kind of, you have to look at it because you're not going to be blind, like just doing it in the dark or something. But you can kind of feel where you're going. And so you just put the beads in the next spot. So, and here's another little trick. So if you have a great big bead and then you put a big or a little bead next to it, it can have like expose the thread. So you can always pick up one bead and then pick up a little tiny bead, and that can kind of equate the size of that. So that way there's not a lot of distortion happening. Sometimes if you put too many little beads, um, then it can kind of distort the shape. So if you go big to little or little to big, it can really like make this really wavy gravy style. So just keep that in mind. And also remember that later on so that you don't actually like split your stitches kind of business. And we're just going to keep going around the world. It is helpful if you sort your beads out kind of so that you don't have to pay seek and find too much. But see what I mean? I probably could have put another little bead in that because there's kind of a loose. It's kind of loose. See how that is? And if I pull too tight to make up the slack, this is going to go straight and this is going to like splay out. So I can go back through this and you see how I use the back of the needle to do that. And then I'm going to pick up and go through again. All right. So that takes a little of that off, but you know, and I'll do another one and I'm going to put some extra in there. So I'll do 2 beads because that's where the radius of the curve is the biggest. So it's going to be the widest spot. So you might even be able to do 3 beads if you want in those great big spaces. And this is to kind of preserve the arch of the circle. See how that is? Did I just make something up? Yes. But it sounds true, so I'm going to roll with it. And I'm going to go around. That one added too many beads. That's all right, though. See how I did that? So basically, we learned in peyote stitch today. And we started off on some kind of a shape like so. I think that's cute. Do y'all think that's cute or look like hot trash? It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I think it's cute. All right, so I'm gonna continue to go around and fill in the gaps. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go around the air, around, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I think this is a fun mix. It's kind of there's a little bit of everything. So if you like the ones that's like more monochromatic, that's probably not going to be for you flavor. Um, this is a good project for different size beads. So if you have a lot of different size, like you don't know what you're going to do with that bead, then I'm going to swap this one out because that one's a little bit too long. But if you have like a lot of different size shaped beads and stuff, this is a kind of a good project for that because it's very organic in the sense that there isn't like a firm structure. Maybe that's not the right word, but you can't tell if it's kind of wonkadoodle. Some designs, if you get one bead off and it's like a half a millimeter different in size or shape, then you can tell, like right away, you can tell it looks messed up. Like if the pattern's not aligned, you can tell. If this one, if you get these a little bit off, nobody's gonna know but you and your friend, maybe. And if they're that close to your face, then you need to say, whoa, whoa, I'm social distancing. Back up. I don't want you to inspect my jewelry. You're too close to my face zone. I don't know. I don't know what kind of friends y'all have. So the first time I went to a bead show, um, I had just stepped out, or at least a really big bead show. I wore this really, um, I used to design for books and magazines. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I used to would design for books and magazines, and some of the stuff I made, I kind of threw that in the kitchen sink into these designs because I would get product sponsors doing that. So I would use a lot of different beads from a lot of different companies, and sometimes you end up with something nice, and then sometimes you end up with stuff that looks like somebody went crazy with a hot glue gun and got wild and was going to bedazzle the heck out of it. But anyway, so I had this piece and it was kind of leaning towards the over the top, looked like somebody had bedazzled the heck out of it with a hot glue gun. And the when I came out the elevator, I was waiting to get into the show, and somebody that I did not know came up to me. And we started talking, and they started grabbing the piece on my neck, and it was kind of a choker. And I was from living in New York City, and usually at that time, and usually if somebody goes and they reach for you, your first instinct is to back up because that's your personal space. People don't go in your personal space, right? In New York, if somebody's going for your personal space, it's like either you know them and they're giving you a love pat, or you about to get throat punched and somebody takes them. I mean, it's not that dramatic, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like something like subconscious, like you can feel people in your aura field, if that makes sense. Anyways, they call it the beater's handshake, and I was not familiar with the beater's handshake until after that, and I had to just get used to the fact that people's gonna reach around and like touch on my throat area, and some people they get a little bit too comfortable with that. I always say, "Can I see that?" or "Can I look at it?" Some people just gonna reach and start caressing your neck gently, and in that case, that's a little bit like extra. Like I went to this one party, and it was a book launch party, and the editor of the magazine or the books, a magazine I was trying to get in good with, and this lady, she's kind of getting a little bit handsy. And I was like, but I also wanted a job, so I kind of just put up with it. Sandra's watching. Hey, Sandra. So this is what we made so far. I think that's cute. I think that's cute. All right, we're gonna keep going, but you can see how if you did this and you made it like as a bracelet, you could make it as a bracelet. We had those rings last night that y'all got a little bit wild for, and you just love them so much. And this would be a good project that you could put. Michelle said it doesn't sound right to just grab at you. Yeah, we don't have the conversation. We have conversations nowadays that we didn't have back then in the day. Back then in the day, you just kind of had to put up with stuff. Otherwise, um, Amy said, need to harken back to the days when you are told to look with your eyes and not in your hands. I get it. Sometimes I like to grapple the beads as well. But that's when you ask, and then somebody says, "Hey, here, let me." Either they lean their neck in, and you can touch it on their throat, if you want, or they take it off, and then you can see it up close. But there's all kinds of stuff back then. So anyway, so I just pulled that and I just pulled the stitch out. So Michelle says manners. Yeah, it's just being polite. But sometimes people they think they're like on a um they're gonna like I don't know what they're doing. But I think that's pretty cute. It kind of reminds me of that old timey lace, if you know what I'm talking about. And so if you get to a point and you're done stitching, if you don't want this to come loose, go underneath that thread bridge and you make a little loop like that, and then you go up through that. Oop, don't get it caught on that like how I did. And then you're going to put that in they call that half hitch knot. I call that anchor knot. And that just helps keep the tension even. Amy says more prevalent from certain demographics. Yeah, there's some. I was walking around with my friend, and she's a real pretty young woman at the time, and she looked like she got the deer stuck in the headlights kind of look. And I was like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Let's go on a different row." And I said, "All right, let's go on a different row then." So afterwards, like I didn't really think about. And she said the reason why I went and skirted around to a different row to get up to the row that we were trying to go to, like like Frog or like more like Pac-Man style, that go through the maze. Because there was this one dude, and he was like super handsy, and he'd like jump out his boots and cross the aisle just to get like a hug on you. And he would do this thing where he would like rub his chest into your chest, and so she did not like that flavor. And I could see he didn't really do it to the dudes as much, but there's some people who just do whatever. um and so yeah, so there are people like that, and I'm not going to name names because I get in trouble when I do that. But yeah, there's some people that are like that. Um, Vicky says, pretty Calypso colors. Thanks. Amy says, no, sir, no, thank you. Correct. Like sometimes that's too much. And you just try to mind your business, and there's somebody over there trying to get a little extra. And it's like, what you doing? We have the bead show. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. You don't need to be copping a feel. No, 10 o'clock in the morning. Um, anyways. No, so yes, some people are, All right. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle off for a second. And I'm going to go to the other side. Cindy says, hello all. Andrew, that's pretty. Thank you. I tried hard for you. And then so I'm going to go through here. This I'm going to be real surprised. Oh, I got it. Because that sometimes if you don't get if you if you cut your thread with like your teeth or something, sometimes it makes that real jagged edge and it won't fit in the needle. So this is going to be real interesting because I got it, right? Because this is pretty short because I kept messing around. Oh, I missed it. All right, so here's a trick. So say your thread is getting short and you can't add thread necessarily, and you don't want to add thread because you're trying to tie off. Thread your needle through the bead that you want to go through, and then get the eye of the needle kind of down low, and then let me see. This is gonna be interesting. And then you just put this through, thread it after you've done that, and then you can do that like that. And that you can get maybe 1 or 2 passes doing like that, but eventually it's going to get too short. And what I'm going to do, and you don't always need a needle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thread and use it as if I'm got a needle. And I'm going to go through here. I'm going to go through the hole underneath that thread bridge. And I'm not going to cut these until later. I'm not going to trim this until later, until I have a little bit sharper of a cutting implement. Because sometimes if it's too dull, it's going to be ragged. And I don't need no ragged time. So I'm just going to go and do that again. So it's nice and secure. And I'm going to do that. So beading without needles, y'all. That's going to be interesting style. And I just messed that up. So don't do that. And to fix that, you just kind of move this loop underneath. And then there you go. Vicky says, I watch on my TV too, Cindy. Cindy says, hello all. I'm now here on YouTube better. However, I'm watching on my big TV. And Amy says, I'm in the zone at a bead show trying to get my shopping on. Oh, that sounds fun. And Michelle says, it's okay. Busy with the big bag of beads. Oh, good. All right. So once I get in there, when I have a sharp implement, I'm going to trim that. But if I wait too long to deal with the end, it's much easier to deal with this now than to wait. And then if you build up a lot of rows on this and it gets real thick, then sometimes that becomes an issue. Now, say you want to leave it like this. This is perfectly fine. You can definitely 100% leave it like this. You can also do things where you thread stuff. So an example, since I have it here, I have this silver silk, and you can do this where if you want to have this be a component, you can go under, over, under, over. And if I push it through enough, I don't want to get snagged on anything. So it's more impressive when you have more and not like this, because this kind of makes it look kind of like a janky a little bit. But if you do this, you can fish this through, and then if you have the ends, then you can have this around it, and it looks like you beaded around this spot or this silver silk, when actually you did not. So it's a good way to use up stuff, and you can just like put an end on that and then make it like a it look more like a abstract, you know, have that as like a bracelet component. See that? You can do that. So that's an option if you're done and you say, I don't want to mess with that anymore. You can keep going. And then you can also, another option of how to use this is if you make this enough, if you make this big enough, the loops in the middle, you can run a flat kind of piece through and go under this, so it looks like that it's like a woven knot kind of pattern. So I think there's a lot of different options, and basically we just started with a loop, and you can do this one off too. You don't have to do this, you don't have to make 3 loops. but we just made a beaded loop like this, and then we added peyote stitch on the outside, and then we filled in the loop, or the little gaps. Now, one thing you can also do is, if you want, if you get this silver line beads, so say you do this all in one color and it's like mono kind of chromatic, and then you put it like a silver line bead next on top. Be like this going there. What this ends up looking like if you use the silver line beads on top. So this would go through here like this. Done. So I need to go back and watch this from the beginning. Oh, it's not that hard. I mean, you can, but in the very beginning of this, I showed some gems from last night, and then we busted this out, this Radical Joy. We also have the luxury bead balloons for sale, just the luxury bead ones. So say you don't want all this other stuff, you can still play along and do that. All right. And this, I would just put like a jump ring. If you're done with this and you just want to make this into an earring, just put a jump ring on it, and then put on an ear wire, call it neat. You could probably also just put it on an ear wire directly. But what I would recommend is that if you're going to do that, go through a couple more times, just to make this really strong and sturdy, because right now there's only one thread pass through this, the outside layers, and that can make it real kind of fragile style. So if you don't want this to get snagged and then cut, get ripped up, then there's that. All right, so I'm just going to do that really fast so that I do it while I'm remembering it. And this will make it nice and sturdy. Donna says it is for me because I'm not good at any of the stitches at all, and I've tried to. Well, you just need to keep practicing. You can do it. I believe in you. This is not super hard. The nice thing about this is it's very forgiving. So if you mess up, you can take stuff out and nobody has to know. You can also use colored thread too, and you can dye your thread as well. So if you want like a funky color, or if you want to do, in the fishing world, who knew we were going to talk about the fishing world? But in the fishing world, they sell all kinds of thread. You never even seen the kinds of thread they got. And it's cheap, y'all. They got this one that's a holographic one. And I was like, dude, what? And it's cool. It's not the most sturdy of things, though. That's the thing, because it's not designed to be sturdy, but it is dang pretty. And I was like, I need to get some of this and put this in like a weaving machine or something and make a little bit of a thicker thread. I got something that's like this like tool, and you like crank it and it's supposed to make a yarn out of it. And I think I'm going to try that with some of that holographic thread. Donna says, oh, I know. It's the same that we were talking about fishing line. You never know what we're going to be talking about AG Live. Sometimes fishing line, you're going to be talking about, I don't know. What have we talked about? We talk about everything pretty much. Some people get uncomfortable by that. They're like, oh, but whatever. I need to turn off the oven because I put dinner in the oven so it'd be done. Let me see. It's almost time for Bon to be home. And every once in a while, I'm going to do a knot, one of those knots that I showed y'all. And what that's going to do is I'm going to go around again, go around the world again, and that's going to make it nice and sturdy. And that'll be good. Now, the cool thing is that you can also mix and match. So sometimes people don't like bead weaving straight up, but you can mix it with like flexible beading wire. You can even probably do this technique with flexible beading wire. And it ain't no big thing. You know, sometimes people, they get where they just want to use one kind of material, and that's fine. I get it. But you can mix and match. You the boss, not me. Not that random stranger person on the internet that don't know you from Adam. You the boss. So you get to decide about when you're done or when you're finished or what kind of materials you want to use. You want to use hot glue, go on ahead. Nobody's going to judge you. And if they do, then you just mind their business. It's chemically bonded. So shut the front door, preferably with you on the other side of it. Oh, don't be doing like that. You can get in trouble like me. Then you're going to have strongly worded emails. Donna says, after last night, I was dying laughing. Mom says, I just walked in and turned it off. Can you take it out the oven so it's not like getting additionally crispy? Hey, can you take that out of the oven?
I turned it off. You want to take it out?
Yeah, because otherwise it's gonna still keep cooking, and then it's gonna be the. Is it black charcoal style?
I don't know.
We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna have a little bit of, we may have to scrape the cheese off on top. It does smell good. So if you hear my stomach in the background, just pretend it's the wind. And that it's like, like a shamanic meditation wind, like them clunky bells that they have, like the wind chimes. Just imagine that it's that. And picture dolphins. My beaded bliss says, just don't tell them. Just tell them don't worry about it. Sometimes you need to be a little bit more aggressive than just don't worry about it. You gotta assert the power. Because sometimes they think you're joking. You say that, not me, not me. Dale says, good evening from work. Thanks for tuning in, Dale. We're working on some radical joy. How about it? Y'all feel joyful? Oh, that looks good.
That came out pretty.
And do you have anything else, or is that it?
That's all she got done on mine. I have 4 more pieces that should go in. She said, I think starting maybe tomorrow or Friday.
Oh, good. You'd be like, Amy, we're going to come over the weekend, so.
I know. And then I got
I messed up.
5 pieces going into bisque.
I got distracted there.
Well, I just did, let's see, wait, I had 2, 3, 4. I actually have 7 pieces now going into hopefully fire.
Oh, nice.
She can get them all in.
I messed up.
What you working on?
Radical bliss, and I'm here. And worst comes to worst, if you mess up, just take the whole mess out. So you just go like this. You get that needle up underneath there, and you just pull. And I did it again. Stuff. Oh well. See, I start talking, and then that's what happens. Oh well, whatever. Nobody can tell. I'll color that in with a Sharpie. So there you go. They said, love the colors. Thanks. All right. That's what we did. You make this a pendant if you want. And just put another jump ring at the top. You could sew something else on it. So if you want to put, like I was talking about making a little net and then doing them little fishies.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. Do y'all like that? Or does that look like hot trash?
How's everybody doing?
I don't know. It got dark all of a sudden. Like we like the Morlocks.
The computer went black.
Oh, that makes sense.
I tried to tap the mouse, but it didn't work.
You weren't fast enough. All right. There you go. How you like it? Some people said they liked it. Some people are
looks good.
suspiciously quiet.
Ah!
That's all right. All right, I'm gonna switch with William.
What are we gonna do now?
Mix lots, bro.
Mix lots, bro.
Unless y'all don't want to. I did a recap of some of the gemstones last night.
Good. I left them here for you to do that, and if you wanted to, I brought
Oh,
them back.
good. Wouldn't this be fun? Let me put this. This would be growing out the hole.
Growing out the hole.
What about that? Hey, how about that? That's too much. That's too much. But this, how about that flavor? Are we designing on the fly? What are we doing? Does that look cute? Oh my gosh. Am I a savant? It's like I saw this thing and it was of a kitten that had like got tangled up in this yarn that I had been playing with, and it's like, look, I knitted this. I made a sweater. My first time. My beaded bliss is I like it, but the mix of sizes and styles is bringing out my OCD. Well, just do your own, and then you can do all one color, one size. You can do, don't be afraid. It will be, you can even pick the same color thread, and it can be an excitement for your life.
I didn't take pictures of those, did I?
Well,
I left those ones here.
That's what we did.
Oh, I left the other ones downstairs for you too.
I don't know about that.
Oh, that was what I was thinking.
LOL. She said LOL. So she knows that I'm joking. Don't do it like that. That sounds like you trying to make a friend.
Is that how you make friends?
So, in my youth. All right. Let me go before I get in more trouble.
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
Not making friends.
Telling all your stories.
My youth time story.
Youth time stories. Oh, no.
And that's also how you get mono.
Ah.
I didn't get it, by the way. We started watching this one show, and I was like, it said it was 39 minutes. It was not 39 minutes.
No.
It was kind of campy.
Very campy.
Okay, sit down.
With the guy from Wings. That's all I
know. And I was like, are these people actually gay?
I was going to say it was a gay show, but I don't think any of them were actually.
Like, except for the one waiter.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to take my needle.
Trying not to get poked by your needle.
You find it with your foot later.
I will too. Hello, everyone.
A little bit chilly.
It's freezing. I'm cold. My pottery class, I felt cold in. Then I had to wash everything with cold water. And then I drove home in the cold. Finally, the car heated up enough. And then now it feels cold in this room. It's too cold. It's supposed to be getting warm. It was 34, I think, is the high today. It still says it's 34. It's been 34 all day long. It's supposed to go down in the 20s tonight. 26 is the low. But maybe in the 50s, low 50s tomorrow. That's nice. Ooh, we're going to get up to 71 on Saturday. That's going to be a nice day. Finally, we're starting to work up our way into the 60s. How's everyone doing? Hello, everybody. I brought one vessel back from my pottery class today. That's all that I'm able to get done, but I have 7 now ready to go into glaze firing. This is one of them. This is one of a set of 3 that I worked on with a similar color palette.
That looks good.
I like this a lot. I was very happy with how it came out.
I was researching how to make your own engobe.
Yeah.
And it's possible.
Good. I was talking about different firings tonight with my pottery teacher, with Amy. Sagar we're talking about a little bit, but mostly like soda firing, because she just did a soda firing with some people. And she was just visiting a potter who's retiring, and she got a bunch of stuff from them, who had a big soda kiln on her property. And because I had never done soda firing, I didn't realize it was with propane. Because I was like,
It's
how?
faster,
I
right?
was like, how do you actually do it? It's not really faster from the sounds of it. It's just because it took them just as long as our wood firing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took over 24 hours, and then it cooled down over like the period of like 3 or 4
But
days.
you throw the salt in
You
there,
throw the
right?
soda through the holes, salt, or she said like some kind of soda, baking soda, or some kind of solution you can do, and you spray it through the holes at certain temperatures.
Is that more brownie frowny style?
Hmm?
Is this stuff all brownie frowny style?
No, it can get, because she showed her one. I guess it was soda fired, and it was I think it was a blue glaze, but then when it on the side that got hit, it was almost like a golden color it turned.
Cool.
Yeah, so it can do different things.
Because some of those, they're real cool. And like, there's this guy on Instagram that's like everybody like falls over him because he's younger and he takes his shirt off and he's
Hmm.
throwing. But also because he does this like firing method, but all his pots look all like brown, just like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
Sometimes I'm like, where's the
let's
color?
do some. Yeah, because Amy this year she wants to do some raku maybe with us. And
Cool.
yeah, so we might do some raku this year, or some kind of maybe sagar, or some kind of other firing. She
We
wants
can
to,
do the sagar,
huh?
the sagar fire
Sagar.
in the backyard.
Yeah. Well, that's what she said. She said when they were at the school, they did raku in the trash cans right outside the door in the to the school, so you can do it.
Mhm.
Like this, I thought was going to be more pink, but I'm kind of glad the way it kind of faded to show you the speckled clay
Mhm.
and just gave a hint of pink, because it would have been more like
Flux.
that. It even faded in here in some places.
Or just got too hot.
I don't know. I don't know. This is flux.
Mhm.
This is definitely I
Did you
used
run on your
flux.
biscuit?
Hmm?
Did you run on your biscuit?
Did I? No,
Did you? There's this person who they're
on the
very
cookie.
fancy or ceramic artist, and they said, "Do you think we would go viral for this?" And they have this like detailed carved like they incise their pottery, and it's like real beautiful. And they said, "But this is the one we actually went viral for, and it's just them scraping
The
the
cookies.
glaze off the cookie that stuck to the kiln shell."
Yeah. Yeah, this one actually ran down into the engobe. I have not had many that have done that. And I created these, so these lines were dashed around here. They're not solid lines. So where there is a dash is where I wanted the glaze to run through. And then in some of these,
It went over.
it went over. Yeah, it forced it to go over. But in a lot of those places, it got this pretty almost yellow color.
Oh, that's good.
So I didn't add any yellow, but that's what happened.
That's probably the flux in combination with the engobe.
It might be because it's you get it where it runs over that. She'll say, "Ooh, that's lovely," and hi again, hello. Cindy says, "Looks like ice cream." Susie says, "I like that."
It'd be
Thanks.
neat if you made an ice cream one.
I know that my next ones, I have two more that have various patterns. One's a polka dot pattern with the engobe, and I can't remember what I did with the third one of this series, this set. And then I did a totally different one on two of them, totally different colors. I think I used a yellow, can't remember, a yellow and maybe a yellow and a green together. I usually use three different colors, but and then today I did a kind of rusty color with a white with some blue speckles, and then that deep blue again. So I'm gonna see what that ends up coming like. And I put dark flux on that one, on those ones today. So we'll see what the dark flux looks like with it all.
Mm-hmm.
This is a light flux. So you
I
get
hope
those
you've
light
been
colors.
recording your experiments.
I take pictures of everything.
But do you keep notes?
No.
Well, knowing you have a memory like you do,
But I take pictures. That's why I take pictures.
you may want to collect it.
But sometimes I forget to take the pictures of the finished product to put them with that's usually what happens. I take the pictures of the glaze being put on them, but after they're fired, I don't. So thank you all.
That looks kind of like it's woven.
Yeah, I really like how this one came out.
You did a good
Charlie
job.
says that looks so cool. Reminds me of layered cake. Thanks.
I see how Charlie talked to you, but not to me
Ah!
today. Wow.
What's going on?
How the tables have
Turned.
Interesting.
So I should have, hopefully,
I thought we had a deeper
4 to 7 more
bond.
pieces.
Asian bond. You know, I bonded over somebody over Tiger Balm once.
Oh, yeah?
And they said, why don't you just ask that person? I said, I don't know them like how I know you. We bonded over Tiger Balm. You needed some, and I had some.
So you said I like the inside colors too. Yeah, the insides are technically the same. They just don't have the same. Oh, Cheryl said they froze. You're frozen. They're the same colors on the inside. It's just the way that it runs around these or doesn't, or they run together. Like these lines kind of prevented a lot of these two colors, the pink and the blue, from running together, except in the places where it was allowed.
What did my friend Charlie say?
Said I was cutting stones and cooking. LOL.
Oh,
Cutting stones, nice.
that sounds fancy.
Yeah. So
It
this
didn't
is
freeze on our end.
No, it's still going over here.
On Instagram.
So,
Oh, looks good.
Thanks.
It looks more red on Instagram though.
Huh?
Instead of pink.
Does it?
Look.
A little bit.
Look.
That's probably that screen, that monitor. Depending what monitor
is that
you're
the
on.
yellow time?
Shouldn't be. I don't think that computer. Maybe it is.
Looks good.
Thanks. I used to have Tiger Balm with me at all times, said Charlie.
I have it with me, and I have a little travel spare usually, just in case I need to bribe somebody for friendship.
So that's what I got back today. Like I said, there's 2 more of this particular color story that I have coming out. And then I did 2 of another one, and I did 3 of a different one today. So
good.
Hopefully I'll have, if she gets them all through, I'll have like 7 new pieces plus this one to put on the online store maybe next week.
Did Acre ever say if they're doing a scholarship again?
I've not heard.
Because maybe you can go to one.
Maybe.
Of course, I want to go. If you don't go, I will definitely 100% go.
Donna said, hello, William. That piece is beautiful. I love the glaze. Thank you.
I put it over here.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Charlie says, there was an incident with it rubbing my eyes, and I have since stopped carrying it.
Oh, with the Tiger Balm?
Oh, there was an accident.
You don't do that. You want to see something I just walked by and found?
What did you just walk by and find?
So I made this in a class. I made my own design. So there's a labradorite on the back and a blue chalcedony.
That's cool.
On the front.
When was this?
That was in Everett's class.
I don't remember that.
I barely remember it either because I was recovering. I was cleared to take class, but I had just gotten COVID before that, like a couple weeks before that. And so I was still kind of delirious. And I had fallen down the AI rabbit hole while I had COVID. And so this is several years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
And
that's a cool look.
And so I was like having like, I was just like, I don't know what was happening.
No, this is OMG Andrew. That is stunning.
I may put that on.
I know. I might need it, right?
And here's this one.
Look at that. I don't remember these at all.
They've just been sitting in that bowl in the foyer for a while. So there's is it a labradorite or sapphire?
That looks like a sapphire.
And then party sapphires. And then the owl friend. I like that little owl friend.
Yeah, that's cute.
And you also need this. That's that emerald.
It's a nice emerald.
Everett said, you just brought all the stones, didn't you? I said, I have a bead store. Like, oh. This I made in a different class.
That's a cool setting.
Everything's all dusty.
I know, right?
I don't keep these in the case.
No, they obviously are not kept in the case.
That's my first pin back that I made from scratch. That was such a pain in the butt. And Stacy, she's She's trying to like talk me through it.
You've gotten a little better since then, right?
I would hope.
Cheryl says those would look great in a talisman necklace.
Sure, why not? Here's another dusty one.
Oh, this one I remember.
I started that off as a demo on the Facebook.
Tube set. Or you got a tube back
Kind
there.
of looks like a bullet.
Yeah, a little bit. Donna says, Cheryl, yes, they would.
Chasing and repoussé, and then I set that little coral on top.
Yeah, so this was chased out of copper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a flat sheet of copper.
This is the first one I have ever done.
Flat sheet of copper, hammered until he got that pattern, that look. That's good. Then you set the coral in there.
And there's a Mongolian turquoise. And then there's a rock I found in the Florida time when I was a child, young adult.
Young adult. I remember this one you were so frustrated with because one of the prongs broke at one point. That hold these in.
I mean, I didn't need it, but
yeah,
that was a pain in the butt. But it got it to work.
Yeah.
And then here's this one. This is the first hammerform piece I ever made.
Like, so dusty.
I should do something with it instead of just sitting on a bowl.
I know. Look at that.
And then I made this one, my second one. Oh, the stone must have fell out. Oh, no, it's there.
Let's clean this up a little bit.
This one I got more experimental.
There we go. Now, there's the look of it.
That's the second piece. Be careful, there's something dingle-dangling off of it.
There you go. And then, oh.
You seem like you're tired.
I am a little tired. I didn't sleep well last night because I had allergic reaction last night, and I had a really hard time falling asleep. And then once I fell asleep, the cats kept coming in to check on me, and so I didn't really sleep much last night.
I slept pretty hard.
Dale says, William, your pottery is amazing. Thank you. This is Andrew's other piece. Look at that.
That was kind of a pain in the butt to do.
Look at that. All these pieces.
I know, they're just sitting in a...
You should at least, like, show them.
That's what I'm doing now.
Instead of sitting them in a bowl. Or try to sell them if you don't want them.
Some of those is my learning pieces. I don't necessarily like to sell my learning pieces.
I see. But aren't you always learning?
I know, but not like the first time thing that I did.
Yeah.
Like this one I would sell.
The blue chalcedony.
I would sell that because I practiced on that. I knew how to do it by that point.
Cindy said those pieces look awesome. Hello, Cindy.
Thanks.
Let's see. Oh, that looks magical. Like it'll send us on an adventure, says Charlie.
It will.
It says that's stunning.
Thanks.
Adventure time.
Adventure time. Right, hand it back.
Hand it back.
Or do you want to gaze that while...
I was going to say, why don't you leave some things here?
So that they're not bored to
so
tears.
Not bored to tears with nothingness.
Oh.
Nothingness. Do you want me to grab some of the gemstones to review?
No.
You going to be ready?
I can be.
Okay. All right. What lot numbers are we using today?
I don't know. That's a you question.
That's a you question. Just use mix.
Mix.
Yeah, they're mixed lots, right?
Mix.
Mix 1, mix 2. We've never
Where's
done
my
that.
paper? Where'd you hide it?
No. Where is it? Here are the bags. Here are papers.
It's like, I don't have it.
Cindy says, I'm hoping to come see the new place this summer.
That'd be nice.
That'd be very nice. It'd be good to see you again.
Let us know when you come. We'll
Yeah.
make sure to be there. I'm traveling a lot this summer, so we'll see.
Yeah, Andrew may or may not be around, but I should be, usually.
Yeah, we do have some things that we're coming out going to, so.
Yeah, just let us know. We'll make it happen if we can, for sure. Love to. Lennis says, I love that. I'm so out of practice for sawing. Kim St. John is who taught me how to make prongs.
Yeah, this is, I don't know if this is like a regular thing. If you want to practice, the book that he recommended Everett taught was John Cogswell, Creative Stone Setting or something.
Let me look that up. See if I can drop a link if it's around.
Link?
Yeah, what is it, John?
Cogswell. Creative Stone Setting. It's an expensive book.
This one?
Uh-huh. And not that bad. But
No, I was gonna say when you said expensive, I was like,
I mean, if it's over $20, I get kind of like.
yeah, he doesn't do that.
What?
Over $20 for books.
Maybe 24.
That's your limit.
And then that one I have to like really want.
Let me I'll drop this in the design challenges group.
If you want to learn how to do that. But we're taking a class. He and his partner are teaching a class at Haystack this summer, and I got into it, and I got a free thing, but unfortunately it overlapped with another thing that I was doing, and it's so deeply saddened I couldn't take it, because I wanted to go and experience Haystack with Adam and Everett.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they're fun. Adam's more. Never mind.
You're gonna get in trouble.
I know. Well, it's true. He is more fun. Oh, I said it.
You sure did.
Well, he talks to me on Instagram, so he is by definition more fun.
Oh, there you go.
So, if Everett's watching, he can redeem himself by responding to my message.
Oh my.
If not, that's fine. Everybody makes choices in life.
Cindy says, I'll let you know for sure before I come. Yes, definitely. Let us know.
You ready?
Are you ready? You're ready already?
I'm thinking. I'm trying.
Let me move these things out of the way then. Just thinking and trying. Some days that's harder than others. Especially for me. Thinking and trying, some days that doesn't work so well.
Alright. Think you feel good?
That's nice.
Or should I make it?
Oh, that's a good one. All right, everyone. If you'd like to purchase from this video, take down the lot number, which is a mix number, mix 1, for example. Put it in the subject line or the body subject line or the body of an email. Address that email to info@allegorygallery.com and hit send. First come, first serve. There's only one of each of these.
Here, add this.
Add that. All right.
See, I added. I didn't take away, I added.
You added. So you're going to get these in this little mix kit. Mixed lot.
Isn't that cute?
Donna says, yo, I hate this, but I need to go because I have another early morning. Oh, Donna, you got to stop with those early mornings.
She's got things that she deals with.
Yeah, I know. You've got a lot of stuff.
No, like, don't hassle her.
I just want her to stay with us longer.
She's got things.
She's got things to do. So have a good night, Donna. Try to get some rest, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, hopefully. Look at this citrine. These little citrine rounds. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thank you to all the 19 people who are watching us currently. We appreciate it.
We have more people watching.
I guess so.
What?
Donna said, I've got to go and stay in the hospital with my son. I know he's having some issues, and we send all the best wishes. These are 3.5 millimeter citrines.
Don't worry, Don. I'll straighten him out if he keeps that. I can tugboat him into submission.
Right. And then,
but wait,
there's more. Peach Moonstone. Peach Moonstone. These little drops.
I think when we sold those last, that alone was $16.
I bet. These are nice quality right here.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little irregular from one another, which
Right.
is perfectly all right. But they've got good flash to them.
Who's not a little bit irregular?
I'm a regular. Look at that. Very pretty. I feel like this light, I always want this light up here because I feel like it gives better light on things when it's up here. Yeah, see that? Cheryl says, that's a great deal. Oh, we don't even have the email up. I don't know if it's sold or not.
I was busy. I was showing people stuff.
That's good. You were doing good.
Did you all like it?
All right. We sold one of the Gem 3s earlier today. Thank you so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is $16 for, oh, and you get this too. He threw this in. Bonus.
It's a little friend.
It's a little heart friend. Bonus. Mix one, $16 only. One of them available. All right. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. When you do ask, please include the lot number you're referring to. That helps a lot.
How much or how big is that?
We don't know.
If you're on a delay, then nobody knows.
We don't know. We don't know what you're talking about.
In the time war, that was the war of the warlords.
Andrew sounds tired. He's just free speaking.
Imagine if I actually did that.
I know, right?
People would either be amused by that or horrified.
I don't know which.
Get ready, y'all.
Get ready.
Buckle up.
Here we go.
The rodeo's in town.
The rodeo is here. He goes.
And the saddle's broken in.
Look at this. Look at this beautiful turquoise bead. That's a turquoise. Turquoise. Look at that. It's beautiful too. It's a big one. It's a big round.
Smear mayonnaise on it.
18 millimeter. Oh, mercy. 18 millimeter mayonnaise.
And I was like, what's that? I don't think she watches, but we had a shop neighbor, and she's a little bit bougie style.
Yep.
And
we love her.
I like her a lot.
She's bougie, but she's down to earth bougie.
But she reminds me of sometimes those characters on like White Lotus a little bit, where they're just like a little bit out of touch. And so she was talking about, she's like, yes, I had the most delicious meal. And I was like, oh yeah. And she's like, they had a Mademoiselle sauce. And I was like, I've never had that. And she's like, yeah, it's kind of like a hollandaise sauce. And like, she's like, but it was white. And, and so she was like describing it. She's like, it's a little bit tangy with the vinegar. And she's like, it was kind of spicy. I was like, spicy? And so I was like, completely did not know. And then I was like, you mean mayonnaise? Like Miracle Whip? And she was like, ah. She's like, I'm pretty sure it was pronounced Mademoiselle.
That's funny.
Okay, well.
This is beautiful coral, vintage coral. And these are coral drops. They are approximately, let me grab one here, about 12.5 millimeters by 8. And then these are the dyed howlite, the faux turquoise, but done really, really well. These are the good imitation turquoise. They give you that turquoise blue. They've got some of the even the banding in there that you see in the turquoise. Look how pretty. And this whole kit is only $24.
That's a screaming steal.
That is a screaming steal. Because I think when we did these strands alone, they were around 22, something like that.
Don't worry about it.
9.3 millimeters by 8, approximately. So there you go. $24. Mix 2.
Is there anybody looking for anything in particular?
Charlie says summoned multiple times.
I know.
I know.
1, 2, 3.
That's a good one right there. That's a good kit. Yeah, anybody looking for anything in particular? Were you all here yesterday? Did you all watch the Gemstone show yesterday? Anybody miss the Gemstone show yesterday? If you missed it, make sure you check a replay. Facebook is starting to delete old live videos now. They've given me notices the last few days. And I get a notice like every day because we do it live almost every day. And they're like, today they told me that my live video from February 25th would be disappearing in the next so many hours. If I wanted to download it, I needed to download it now. So
They're probably tired of storing our stuff for free.
So live videos on Facebook will only be available to watch for 1 month from now on, but all of our videos are available on YouTube at this moment indefinitely.
At this moment in this time.
At this moment in this time, in this period, in this state, in this reality.
Now you're trying to be tripping talk like me. Monkey see, monkey do. Whoa.
Well, you got to join the club.
All right. Okay, this one I'm gonna do this.
Give
This
it a
one's a screaming steel too.
Yeah.
Ready.
Screaming steel as well.
All right, you ready?
I'm
Have
ready.
You appropriately braced yourself.
I don't know if I can. Sometimes
sitting
your steels
down?
are unbraceable for me.
Unbraceable. Unbraceable.
Unbraceable steels.
Well, it sounds like a blacksmithing problem.
When you just can't get it together.
Do you think that's good?
Oh my goodness.
Or do you think I should add something?
What are these beads?
Don't worry about it. It's something from, they're like a compressed something, like a fiber mixed with the resin.
These are really cool. I've never seen these.
They're a little bit different.
Okay, so we've got these first.
These are, they're hand faceted. So they call that sometimes nap cut.
Nap cut.
Like they're napping it.
Uh-huh.
K-N-A-P.
Napping it.
Is that how you spell that? Nap?
Or else PP. One of the two, K and A. Yeah.
Something. Sometimes they call it hammer cut.
Mix 3. This one just sold.
Thanks.
What is
Wow.
this stone?
I think it's onyx.
Onyx. It's not real. It's not super heavy, so I know it's not spinel. But look at these beads. I'm not going to look at them too long because they're already sold. But look at those. Look how cool. And they are insanely light. It looks like miniature plywood that's been painted.
Mm-hmm. That's how it's made. Just like that.
Just like that. It's super cool. I've never seen beads like that in this beautiful purple color. They'd be great with amethyst. Some of that amethyst we had yesterday. So that's sold. Thank you so much. Mix 3. Here, while Andrew's doing that, let me give the person who bought these their size things too. These are about 6 millimeter for the nap cut. These are approximately 19 millimeters. And these ones are about 21 by 31. 21 by 31. So did you go, what are we having for dinner? I don't know what that was that you made.
I don't know either. I don't know if it's a burn or not.
So the top's a little bit there are some black places,
It
but
smells good.
it smells very good. And I tasted one of those little black spaces, and it's not terrible. It's actually pretty good. So I don't know what it is.
Cheese.
No, it was crunchy like a kale, like a kale from the oven.
Oh.
When we make the kale.
And then it's cabbage.
Cabbage. It was really good.
I don't know to have some.
What is it though?
Cabbage.
What is the whole thing? Just cabbage?
Balapapata.
Balapapata? What is a balapapata?
Asked me 10 days ago when I started making it.
Well, what did you add to what we already had?
All right. So the base of that was a few days ago. William made tacos, and they were with peppers,
we've talked about that. So they've known about the tacos.
Peppers, fake meat, and mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And what else was in that?
Refried beans.
Okay. So then that got
and
added
onions.
to sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then that got added to rice, a rice mixture. And that was in the enchiladas.
Mm-hmm.
We had extra. So then that I took the extra enchilada and chopped it up and mixed it up. And then I sauteed some cabbage and mixed that up. And then mixed that all together with some diced tomatoes and put cheese on top. And that's your leftover surprise.
So these
and
are.
then probably tomorrow.
And then tomorrow.
I'll blend it into a soup.
We'll put it with some of those potatoes.
And then
It'll cover the potatoes.
What potatoes?
I thought we got potatoes.
No.
What did we do with the potatoes?
I don't have any.
Oh, I thought I got some. I thought you asked for
Sweet potatoes?
No, I thought you would ask for regular potatoes at one point.
We already ate those up.
Oh, so we'll get more potatoes and we'll use that as the sauce over the potatoes when it's blended.
The gravy.
The gravy.
Then do that. If you want the recipe, turn into my
Good
YouTube
luck.
channel.
I know, right? Recipes by Andrew.
They'd be like, "What the hell's this?"
These are super cool. This is all vintage plastic. You got these sparkly bits, and they can be used together or separately. They interlock if you want to, and they are drilled right through if you want that.
Oh, this one fell out.
Oh, you get this too. And it's already sold, so you're getting a bonus. Didn't even know you were getting that. And then you get these little babies in white, and then you get the rounds, and you get these little slightly twisted ovals. Let's see. Kimberly had a roast and cucumber avocado lime salad. I saw that salad that you posted. It looked good. I'm not a huge fan of cucumbers or avocados or cilantro, but the vegetarian me wanted to eat it. So I don't know what that says. My palate is expanding, maybe.
You love pickles.
I love pickles. Oh, you got to pickle a cucumber for me to eat it, but I'm trying to like cucumbers better. I'm trying.
You like in the tin.
They are nice and fresh. Like I've been trying to. I put them in some vinegar, and then I like them a little bit. Lenna says I can't have hot or hard food, so I had a sandwich and cold mac and cheese. What kind of sandwich did you have? Charlie says that kit was giving the movie Clueless. I can see that. That's cool. I like that movie. Cheryl says I'm still rooting for you to embrace avocados.
I love avocados.
I know. I got to just get one and just put myself through it and just try to eat it and see what happens.
I don't care.
He's like, it is one of the few things that's in the house that he will always have to himself completely.
I love him. I eat it, and I eat it times 2.
Charlie made baked feta with tomatoes, garlic, and onions with olive oil, pigs in a blanket, and prepped carbonara for lunch tomorrow. That is so good. That sounds all so good.
You ever break up with your man, you got a place here. Just so you know.
Lennis had the sandwich was lunch meat with spinach. Nice. What's next?
Let's do. I'm trying to make it. I'm making y'all some nice.
He's making some nice lots tonight for y'all. Good pricing. That mix 4 was a really good price. That mix 3, that was a really good price. Mix 2, that turquoise with the faux turquoise with the coral, $24 only. That's a really good mix. And that first one, your mix 5 right now. I really like the first one. Those first ones, that's that orange yellow I'm into again. Are y'all ready to see Harry stuff tomorrow? Are y'all excited? Did you see my little teaser, my tiny little teaser that I put out? Did you all see it? Are you ready for Harry stuff? I'm excited to show you. I opened it all today and took a look at it all, inspected it all. Cindy said, I never liked avocados either till I added fresh lime juice and a bit of salt and pepper. Cut it into chunks and ate it. Now I love it, but only that way. Holy moly. He's giving you a good deal. $15. Let's see here. Dominion said, I had a breakup with my man and can cook good vegan food. Was vegetarian before that for almost 4 decades. Just kidding. I have a place.
Maybe. I know Charlie.
I know, right? Charlie's been to visit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. These are painted wooden beads with large holes, y'all. Large holes. So these are about 19.5 millimeters. I don't know if I can get in there for the whole size.
The dyed wood.
Yeah. These are about 5 millimeter holes at least. At least 5 millimeter holes. And so you get that. You get this whole bag. Okay. So this was $8 originally on that tag. And then you get all of these. Isn't that pretty? This whole bag of this swirl glass. These are vintage. And what do they call this? Stringer glass? Is that stringer glass?
It says
painted. Painted? Okay.
But it's glass.
It's got the purple, black with the gold. Let's see here. We have these are about, is that right? 8 millimeter? About 8 millimeter. That's 5. It's about 8 millimeter. You get all of those. Put these back in the bag. So you get that whole bag of those. Then just throwing in 2 bags of these large metal beads. Look at those.
I wanted to make some kind of large beads in that. So large beads, and then that way you can mix this other one with like a spacer.
Yeah, look at these. These are super nice, super light. Drilled top to bottom that way.
I'll give you somebody a prize if they can guess the next design inspiration.
The next design inspiration. Charlie says, LOL, I'll remind him of that. I also made focaccia bread yesterday. Oh, I love some focaccia too.
Was it good?
I bet it was good. Dominion said, although I think I would love having you guys as roommates. You never know.
So that's like a compound.
I know, right?
The compound sounds like a cult.
That's all right too.
Yeah,
I love it. You don't want to be a cult. Too much pressure. Charlie says, Wheel of Time, question mark. Is that the
pink one?
no? What is you said? You give a prize if they can guess the next.
No. Then the one coming up.
I know.
They have to see it first.
Oh, I thought they're just guessing at it.
Look at it in their eyes, and then you'll know. Maybe.
Lennis asked, "What's your favorite food?"
Mine.
She just said favorite food question mark.
I love to eat, so I have many favorites.
These are cool beads right here. I can't even fit them all on the screen. Let me move this back.
Dessert is different than regular.
This is only $16. Okay. So can you guess the theme? You get an extra prize if you guess the theme. Charlie says, I thought it was a psychic challenge.
Oh, no. Then wrong.
Wrong. Look at these. These are cool.
Those are from Ava.
Super cool.
Embedded the glitter in the top and then cut it up.
Yeah, that's super cool. Barbie says Kimberly.
It's related, but not.
Then you get these glass pearls. And these are 8mm glass pearls. Kimberly says, I didn't really hear the question. What is the theme for this kit? The inspirational theme for this kit? For this mix?
Tim kind of got us close, but not.
You get this large pendant. And then you get the wavy cut. I love these wavy cut. They remind me of sea creatures or something. The 80s, says Michelle.
More specific. But it is in the realm of toys.
Cancer awareness.
Nah, this too modern.
Too modern.
And altruistic. I'm talking about show.
And then these are dyed shell. These are super cool because you can you can orbit little things in here.
It's a spinoff of something that's going to be live action coming up soon.
Pretty in pink, says Charlie. Says, toys. Nobody got it yet.
They did a reboot on Netflix like 2 years ago.
And nobody's grabbed this one yet. Mix 6, only $16 for all of this. Give you some dimensional numbers on these. 17.5 approximately by 24.5. This large pendant is about 30 by 49.5. And these are about 24, almost 25 millimeters. These ones, Marilyn Monroe, this is Kimberly, 19 by 30 on those.
Okay, going once, going twice.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Diamonds. 3, 4, 5. When is the end?
And you better end it.
She-Ra, Princess of Power.
She-Ra, Princess of
Power. Picked kind of muted pinks with a gold.
I didn't watch She-Ra as much.
Did you have that She-Ra castle? And with the spin-off of He-Man?
I had the He-Man castle.
You know those are worth money now?
Yeah. No, I don't know if I had the He-Man castle if my cousins did.
Castle Grayskull?
Castle Grayskull.
Don't get confused, man.
I might have had it. I can't remember.
I wonder why they're not making a live action of She-Ra. They're probably thinking that He-Man will go.
Mm-hmm.
You picked that guy that was in that red, white, and blue royal.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Red, white, and royal blue or whatever it was.
And he's they picked him for Prince Adam.
Mm.
He was in something else we watched. Was it? Kind of played a jerk. That one where they have the graphic sexy time with Julianne Moore as his mom.
Oh, I kind of remember, but I don't know. I don't remember him that much, so I kind of remember him.
He played her son.
Kimberly says, I did not see She-Ra from all that pink.
Look at that thing. Right.
All right, what's next?
What do y'all want?
Charlie says, it matches. I should watch it again if I ever get Netflix again. LOL. See, just another reason to move in. We have Netflix. We got the Netflix.
We got that $7 a month.
That's right. We got it. We got it. Oh.
We were paying for somebody else's Netflix for a while.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Let's see. Do you want to? Let me think about that.
He's thinking.
This is kind of expensive because of glass, and this is kind of expensive.
Ooh. What did you all have any favorite games growing up? I asked this in the D Stash the one night. Because I was thinking about it. Like, my one grandmother used to play board games with me and my brother all the time. And of course, talking about old TV shows brought this up in my brain too, because we used to watch Golden Girls in the background while we were playing board games. But then I also remembered that my other grandmother taught us to play Parcheesi and Chinese checkers and puzzles. And I kind of had forgotten about those for a while. Kimberly says Clue, followed by Monopoly. Monopoly was one of my favorites. I don't think I've ever played Clue in my life. I don't think I've ever played Clue. I think they had it in school one time. We did a game day or something in school, and somebody was playing it, and I may have played a little bit of it. But I don't think I ever played Clue in any meaningful way. Look at these. These are super cool. These little tubes.
Those are vintage check. Old check. What's the price of admission?
Yeah, $12 for this, which is a good deal because these by the strand would be probably that price without anything else in this kit.
If you can find it.
Lena says there was a lot of pink in the comic book She-Ra. And Dominion said I like Super Mario, Life, and Scrabble. We used to play Payday. There was a board game called Payday. I think it's still available.
All these capitalist values.
I know, right? And then Railroad Crossing, I think it was called.
So
that was another one. You owned the railroads. Yep. That one was hard though, because every time we would play it, like, it was fun once you got into it, but every time we would play that, we had to reread the instructions to remember how to play.
What's the one that it would take like forever to play, and it was like the whole continent, and you had these little pegs?
I never played that. I don't know what that is.
Was it Risk?
Was it Risk? I never played Risk either, so it could have been.
It's someone with like global domination. And if you started in Australia, nobody could mess with you.
Oh yeah?
Because you're all by yourself.
Lena says we played Sorry. I liked Sorry. I played Sorry too.
We played Sorry until somebody got sorry.
Sorry.
Because people would be like Vendetta Bloodsport.
When I was a kid, I loved Chutes and Ladders. I was real young. Let's see. Pictionary and Scattergories. I never liked Pictionary because I couldn't draw. I felt like I couldn't draw. I know that's supposed to be the fun of it, but it was anxiety inducing for me. But there was one game that my cousins came with that was called Malarkey. And you were given a word and you had to do a definition, and people had to say whether that definition of the word was correct or you were making it up. It was Malarkey.
So you have to learn to lie.
You had to learn to lie really well. I was not great at it, but I did like that game. I don't know why, because making things up on the fly was usually anxiety inducing for me, but for some reason I liked that.
The word McCarthy.
Yeah. No, but I actually enjoyed playing it, which was strange. Let me give you dimensions on these. And these are about 5.7 by 20. These ones, I think, are, yep, well, 8.5. I was going to say 8. They're 8.5. And then these, the fire polished check glass, are about 4 millimeters. So you get all that, $12. These are fun. These are really beautiful. I don't know if you're seeing these. Monopoly Hanafuda, Japanese card game, says Charlie. Sounds like Risk. I also played Stratigo. Yeah, I never played Risk. Anybody else have some fun games they used to play?
We used to play this game called Sequence, and my grandparents used to make the boards, and they were made of playing cards that they cut out and poker chips. We also used to play Hand and Foot.
I've heard of that. I've never played that.
That's all been raptured from my mind about how to play that.
We used to play Rummikub, which is rummy, but with tiles and cubes that my grandmother and I used to play with my brother. One of her friends taught her how to play that when they came to visit, and then we had to get our own set and start playing. This is a fun one. This is citrusy and fun. Look at these big beads. Big round vintage plastic. Are these from Ava? They look like they're from Ava. Look at those. And then, what other games we used to play? We definitely used to play Monopoly.
Did anybody say the favorite food?
What?
I'm interested in the Lennis's question. That's important.
The favorite foods? I know nobody answered. Got on to guessing what the thing was. Julie says, I love Rummikub. I play it online now. I didn't know you could play it online. That's fun. These are 15 by 12. What's my favorite food? I don't know. That's so hard. Because when I was a meat eater, I would say a good steak with baked potatoes and maybe potatoes au gratin. I like that too. And some kind of vegetable side, like a Brussels sprouts, probably done right. That would have been one of my favorite meals.
Gnocchi, that's one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, gnocchi is good. I
I
love
like
pierogi. Ooh.
Dumplings. Oh.
Just to show you what he just put in here, y'all. Carnelian, $29. You see the price of this kit? $29 is just this strand originally. Oh, Lena says that was my psychic guess, like Charlie, before we saw the kit. Well, that was a good question anyway.
No.
I do enjoy good roasted Brussels sprouts with pecans, says Kimberly. Kimberly says, favorite foods I enjoy veggies. I do like veggies.
What's your
obviously.
favorite?
Mix 8 just sold. Somebody grabbed this up.
Okay,
thank you so much. So that's those, and then you're also getting these with it. What is everybody's favorite vegetable? Can you pick a favorite vegetable, Andrew?
My favorite vegetable of all time? Potato.
Potato. I would probably have to say potatoes too, because I love a potato. Kimberly says I love broccoli. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts would probably come in very close to second, depending on how you do the broccoli. If it's done just right. Brussels sprouts, though, Andrew does a mean Brussels sprout. It's some good times.
It used to be better when you were vacation.
Yes. And Michelle loves artichokes. Oh, those can be really good too. They can be a pain in the butt to eat, but they're definitely good. Cheryl says taters.
I'm not fancy like that.
I know, but look how many things you can do with a potato.
Oh, so many things.
Like it's like
I feel like that guy on Forrest Gump when he was like popcorn shrimp, cocktail, but with potatoes.
but with potatoes.
And then like potato au gratin, mashed potato,
I know, right? Oh, I think you're gonna like this
French
skit.
fries. Oh, I love a good French fry.
Oh yes. Look at
Baked
these.
potato, like a good baked potato.
These beads alone in here, these are lampwork beads. $12. Look at those. Those alone make that kit. Look how fun those are. Lena says, I like parsnips. Ooh, I do love a good parsnip too.
Yeah, that's another one that kind of flew under the radar for me, but since rediscovering it.
They're like a sweet, they're just so good. But
Yeah,
you got to
this
do
one,
them. You got to cook them up
y'all are
right.
not gonna know probably. Sea towel.
Sea towel.
Do y'all know that one?
Anybody know sea towel?
Only the Asians probably know that one.
Charlie says, I had sequins, but as I got older, I remember Mancala and a lot of card games like BS and Spoons. Says, favorite food, hard to say. My tastes change, but I just really like good ingredients, perhaps fresh sashimi.
Could see that. You know what is one of my all-time favorites is caprese salad.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good one.
Caprese.
They had a pizza that had bruschetta.
Bruschetta.
Oh, I love bruschetta, but it has that one. I can't remember the name. It sounds like bruschetta. What's that one? Burrata.
Oh, the cheese, the burrata.
With mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy, daddy, baby.
These are vintage Czech, slightly twisted rectangular tubes. Probably antique Czech at this point. These are old. So you get those in this Mix 9. Oops, Mix 9 is already sold. Thank you so much. These are about 4.5 millimeters by 14. And then these glass or these stone? That's hard to tell.
They look like stone from here.
These are 4.2 millimeters by, if I can even flip them. Yeah, these are really hard to grab onto. My hands are too big. By about 2. I think they're stone. And then you get these, which are about 13.7 by 15.7. Anybody else favorite foods? Charlie says, I love bok choy, but I eat so many onions.
I love a bok. Oh, I love French onion soup. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, and you can barely find French onion soup without meat stock, beef stock. You gotta make it. Every time I go out and I see French onion soup on a menu, I want it, but it's always, always, always made with beef stock.
That's like when you have the Anjou sauce.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love a good au jus? Beef.
There used to be this roast beef sandwich in this place called Cappy's in Florida, and I used to eat that like it was my job. And my dad, I was kind of, I had some eating issues, but when I was growing up, and sometimes my dad, he would purposely go there because he knew I would eat it.
You would eat it. We it was, you know, when you're growing up, you don't know, like, until you get out in the world, sometimes you don't know, like, if food's actually good or not, but you eat what you like, you know, and what you can afford. And we would go all the time, and my grandfather loved them. He used to get them all the time too. But open face roast beef sandwiches smothered in gravy from our son's restaurant in Johnstown. And I used to eat those so much.
What's wrong with our son?
Nothing, but it's a good place.
It's not.
But it's
they
not.
Were having problems.
They were having problems.
But you know what? They're not making things vegetarian. So.
No, that's the problem. We can't eat there anymore. But you know, it was nothing fancy. It was a piece of white bread with roast beef with a brown gravy, and it was delicious.
You know what? They brag about their fried chicken, but I don't think
Oh, those are fighting words around here, though.
I know. I'm actually from the South, so I
Yeah,
know what real fried chicken is.
for us up here, it is the best fried.
Publix fried chicken beat their
it
hands down.
it was the best fried chicken we could get around here. I always really liked their fried. It was
I
always
went to
juicy.
this bougie Southern place in New York, and they had this fried chicken. And it's burnt to a crisp, and I was like, oh, "What's this?" And they're like, "It's blackened fried chicken." I was like, "You be overcooked."
Overcooked.
I didn't say it like that, but I thought it real strong.
Uh-huh. Charlie says, "Ooh, mix 10 is lovely." This is lovely. This has got these pyrite triangles. That alone is an over a 16-inch strand. These are vintage pyrite, and you still see some of the veining in the pyrite. A lot of times these days when you see pyrite, you don't see that anymore.
Because it's not real.
Yeah. And so these, I can smell the pennies from here.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know, but it's real. And then these are approximately, let's see, about 17 millimeters, 17 and a half millimeters. So you get those, you get these glass pearls, and then you get these large chunks of agate, this beautiful banded agate. And you get all that for only $16. Mix 10. Let's see here. Kimberly says, my husband loves when I make open face roast beef. I used to love it. Dominion says, difficult to choose favorite veg. I like so many different ways and combinations. Just made a great vegetable soup. Also had some beets. Beets are good too. I love a good beet.
I think beets are underappreciated.
Yeah, they are. Kimberly said, put mashed potatoes on the bread, then top with beef gravy. Yeah, they always served it with a side of mashed potatoes, so we kind of just mashed it up.
Sounds great.
The first time I cooked for my husband, Kimberly says, I made him stuffed shells.
That sounds good.
Stuffed shells are good too. Stuffed shells
did
are
you
good.
stuff them with?
What did you stuff them with?
Just the whites.
Kimberly says, I love pickled beets. My grandmother used to make pickled beets, and I don't know, I think she bought some kind of pickling stuff from a specific company because I've never had them ever the same. And we used to just call them red beets, even though most beets are red. That was red beets to us growing up. And she would cut them up, put them in a canning jar, pickle them, and I loved them.
Is that the one that's kind of like cinnamon?
Yes.
It's not. You know what that's from, right? Hot tamale candy.
I don't know, but she had packets.
Oh.
She had a powdered packet of some sort that I know she had canning stuff.
That's what my
I mean, she never put, I know she didn't put candies in them.
My grandma, she put them hot tamales
in
it, and people are like, what's this?
I think my grandmother used some cinnamon, but she didn't, I know she didn't use the candies. That's a good idea though.
And it made I used to love those.
Kimberly says, I feel like I'm just spewing random things I like. That's okay too.
Who said that?
Kimberly.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. Things we like. Foods. We talked about foods. Lena says, I love beets. I didn't have fresh ones until I was an adult.
Me neither.
Yeah, I mean, my grandmother made the pickled beets. I don't know if you consider those fresh or not. But I didn't have... I mean, I did try other beets, but I didn't like them because I only liked pickled beets at that point. But now I love beets.
Pickled beets, I'll be honest, I'm not wild about some of them. Like there's the ones that the Swedish ones. I know some people love that. And they sell it with that like rotten fish. And then maybe that's what throws it off.
That's what throws it off. Yeah, I never liked any of, like, we get pickled beets places and they were never as good as my grams. And it kind of ruined me for pickled beets everywhere else.
You know what I kind of want is to grow those the candy stripe ones that are pink and
white.
Or is that That's
a radish.
But I want to grow that too.
But beets come in all the golden beets.
I used to get that salad at the restaurant and bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
And it had beets and shrimp, I think.
Shrimps. Oh, food is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Food is so good.
Let me think. What else do you want? You want anything into it? Like, is there anything? I know this isn't Total Request Live, but it helps narrow things down, I think. Maybe. Or not.
Maybe or not.
It could be. Alright, what else do y'all want?
Anybody have any requests for things? God or goddess inspired, says Charlie. Egyptian question mark. What colors are y'all looking for? What are you making lately? What kind of color ranges? What colors are you using in your projects? Have you been attracted to any specific colors lately? I keep talking about I've been really pulled toward oranges and yellows right now and golden colors. What are you all working with lately? Let us know while Andrew searches out awesome things for these mixes. Wednesdays are often like this because Andrew starts the show and he usually starts with a demo or some sort of tutorial while I'm at my pottery class. And then when we come back, we hang out and then he makes things on the fly, which is kind of wild to think. Charlie's thinking of food right now.
I'm also thinking.
Me too. I've got food on my brain.
I'm ready to receive it in my mouth.
Julie says, I just like unique and vintage. Well, we've definitely got lots of unique and vintage in here.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite dessert, y'all?
So many. A good cheesecake.
I was going to say a good cheesecake or a good like fruit torte.
Flan.
Pie. Creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
Love a good pie too. Can't beat a good pie.
It's filled with cream, and they're like this. They make it's like a choux, CHOU.
Croquembouche.
And then they fill it with the cream, and then there's like a caramel.
That's the croquembouche when they make the big tower of it, right?
I also enjoy that, but I never called it that. We just called it cream puffs, maybe.
Cream puffs. I think a croquembouche.
When it's in the tower.
When it's in the tower or a ring, but it's a bunch of cream puffs all together. That's pretty much what it is. You crack them off and you eat them.
I don't like the one that gets stuck in your teeth, though.
No. Cheryl says, playing with a teal green AG Luxury Bee Blend tonight.
Nice.
There, Charlie says, I've been using red, black, green, and gold. And she says, cream puffs, question mark? Yeah, I love it. Andrew loves the cream puffs more than I do, though. I'm not that creamy filling. I'm not so...
The creme anglaise, my favorite.
Yeah, he loves a creme anglaise. I could take it or leave it.
When we were growing up, me and my friend Jennifer, she loved mashed potatoes. So then mashed potatoes is love. And then also pudding. So if I got to make stuff, it was pudding. If she got to make stuff, it was mashed potatoes.
Nice.
And I still love good pudding.
You do. You whip up a pudding every once in a while.
I'll eat it from a cup. I don't care. With the Jello pudding.
Yeah, he likes the pudding cups. Doesn't matter.
I want it now, right now.
Right now.
Go get it.
Go get it. No one has pudding cups right now.
Dollar General.
They're closed. It's 10:30. They're already closed. Like that. It's all my fault. Charlie says, I made mud hen bars and I need to not anymore. It's a cookie bar with marshmallows between and brown sugar meringue. They're so good I keep eating them. You can send the remainder up here so you're not troubled by them.
He's like, I'll save you.
I will save you. Just ship them on up. It's cold enough, they'll stay. Yeah. It's cold enough, they'll keep.
I'm on the pinks tonight.
You are on the pinks. Whether everyone else is or not, we're on pinks. I like these though.
They're all ceramic.
Are these Japanese ceramics?
I don't know. Ceramic.
They're super cute.
I saw it go up. What she said.
I would if they'd last. The meringue keeps cracking. It can come cracked. I ain't precious.
Are you sure?
It's okay.
Oh, Pavlova. That's another good one.
The Pavlova. Let's see here. Lena says, you named all my favorites, but I've had to give up most dairy desserts. I did have a chocolate pudding cup tonight with cinnamon on top.
Rice, good rice. Rice to riches.
I never had that.
Well, you missed out.
I know. I love a good rice pudding. My aunt makes a good rice pudding with raisins in it, and she got me addicted to rice pudding. And now there is a rice pudding. What is it? What is the Senora Roast or something Senor Rico that we buy at the grocery store, and it's actually pretty good. There's another brand that more people buy, and I don't like it as much. I think it's Senor Rico we buy.
There's one of the brands, and it tastes like bubble gum for some reason.
And then the other one starts some kind of, I forget what it's called, and it's not as good. But the other one, the Senor Rico, is all natural ingredients, so it's actually really good, and it tastes so good, and I love it. So you get these dyed shell, you get these cute little floral cubes, and these are approximately 9 millimeters. These are very unique right here. You see these around? No.
But I love to eat, so.
Mix 11, $12.
So I'll try.
Kimberly said these are beautiful. The coins remind me of the Neck wafer candies. The Necco wafers. I love Necco wafers.
You know what's another good dessert that I feel like doesn't get the same credit and kind of plays into our cat's names is banana pudding.
How does that play into the cat's names?
Because Heidi and Gerda
from that book.
And they have,
he loves a good pudding. I'm telling you, he's banana pudding, chocolate pudding, vanilla pudding.
Oh my god.
I'm not so keen on the puddings.
I'm into that. Creamy things, basically.
Charlie says, I want to eat those cube beads so bad. Reminds me of gum. I know. Necco says, yes, I still like those. They are fun. I like Necco wafers. My aunt introduced me to those, and at first I only picked out like the chocolate ones to eat, and now I love them all. I don't get them nearly often enough. There was rumors they almost went out of business. They did go out of business, I think, and there were rumors they were shutting them down. So I started buying up Necco wafers at one point, and then they came back.
You brought them back from the brink of.
I don't know, but I don't know if they're reformulated. I haven't had them in a while. Kimberly says, by the way, I have about 2 hours left on the book. Good job.
Coming up.
Yeah, book club is this Saturday, y'all. This Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. Book club meeting on Zoom. The Stone Witch of Florence is the book. We're going to get together, discuss the book, make things inspired by the book, and talk. Hang out, chat. So we hope you'll join us. We'll send out the Zoom link into the Design Challenges group. We'll also put it in our email and send that out to you soon too. Let's see here. Check our email. Nope. And
which ones didn't sell?
1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 11, 10.
So we only select 2.
We've sold 4 of them so far. Says it's definitely gotten better than the extensive descriptions in the beginning. I'm going to try and listen to it again before Saturday. Listen to it again. I'm going to cram in another reading. Sometimes you need to do that, right? You need to listen multiple times, especially if you're going to design something. Yeah. What else is happening, everybody? Anything you want to see? Any particular things? Ooh, these are nice. You did good on this one.
You're kind of running out of steam.
Can tell. Can tell. I've been out of steam.
I know.
Look at this.
I'm like,
I'm gonna leave. You can. I'll leave. I'll go eat. You can keep your energy up. Look at this. This is a glass, artisan glass bead or disc spacer, whatever you want to do with that. It's really pretty. Then it says Nikki.
Huh?
Nikki.
Nikki Thornburg.
Nikki Thornburg Lanigan.
That sounds right.
And then you get these. You're going to go pet on a cat. And you get these. And let me give you the sizes on these. This is about 30 millimeters. Make sure I'm zeroed out. Yeah, about 30, 29.2. These ones are 18 by 28. Look how perfect that is. 18 by 28. And then you get these vintage or antique check. Look at those dimples. Those are so cool. Dimples, dimple cut. I don't know, dimples. They're about 7 by 15. And you get that strand of those. And then you get these wonderful quartz. Lena says the Nikki bead is worth the entire kit price. Yes, it is. That right there. That's like the theme of the night. Pick one. It's going to be worth the entire kit. This itself would be worth the entire kit as well. Kit's only $12. Mix 12. Each one of these, we could sell for each one of these for $3 to $4 a piece easily for a pendant. So there you go. Mix 12. This would be at least $6, $7 for that. Kimberly says it's so pretty. It's a pretty kit, right? Mix 12. Still available if anybody wants it. Well, let me give you the size of these large ones too. This is 25 by about 39 and a half. All right. So has anyone picked up any new hobbies? Anything you've been trying? A lot of you know I started trying to crochet. I've paused on my crochet work, which is not great. But I've been so busy that I've left my crochet sitting on the bookcase and have not picked it back up yet again. But we're also learning Italian. Because Andrew got that scholarship for mentorship, and his mentor is in Italy, and he's going to go see her at the toward the end of this year, and hopefully I'll be able to go. So if y'all know me, my degrees are in Spanish literature and French language and culture. So I studied Spanish and French, as well as some German and Japanese when I was in college. And so I love language. I never studied Italian, but I always wanted to. So we're learning Italian, and I've been trying to do crochet. Of course, I got the pottery thing going that I started a few years ago. And boy, it seems weird to say that a few years ago now that I've been working on pottery. So yeah, it's been, I've got a lot going on, but I've been enjoying it. And I hope to get back into my crochet. I feel like now that it's like starting to get warm, I don't know why. I feel like it's not the time for crochet. I feel like I should be doing that in the winter. So, but I want to keep up with it and not forget it. And I probably already have forgotten. I probably need to reintroduce it to my brain. They say it takes 7 to 11 times of forgetting something and remembering it in order to like actually archive it and be in your brain. So I need to pick it up and take a look again. Kimberly said nothing new at the moment, but then said I've been dabbling with UV resin. That's cool. Charlie says, I've been sewing in between painting, doing lapidary for a little bit. That's cool too. That's something that we've never gotten our lapidary setup going. Let me go back and we'll refresh some of these. We'll take a look at these kits again that have not sold yet, in case anybody new has tuned in and is interested in taking a look. Number 1 is still available. Andrew and William, let me know if you want to go. To do lapidary? I would love to do that at some point. So this is number 1, kit number, mix number 1. It came with these shells. These are real shells. They've been cut, sliced, and then you get the peach moonstone. And I don't think I measured these for you the first time around. So these peach moonstone are about 6.3 by 10.6 millimeters. And then these beautiful, about 3.5 millimeter smooth, round citrine beads. Very pretty. Plus you get this little extra bonus that Andrew threw in, this little heart charm. Mix 1, $16. Anybody else been doing anything new? Been picking up any hobbies, new interests? Andrew, what's your new hobby, new interest lately?
I've been doing Amazon a lot.
Yeah, he's doing Amazon. That's his thing right now. You've been doing a lot of painting too. Painting like every night. This one I can't believe still hasn't sold. This giant turquoise round, real turquoise. Look at the color in that. Beautiful. And then you have the coral drops, vintage coral. We don't buy new coral, so this all comes to us vintage. And so you got that strand, and then the faux turquoise. Really nice quality faceted drops in the faux turquoise. Really well dyed howlite. And that's mix 2, $24. And let's see here, mix 3 has sold, 4 has sold, 5, the big one didn't sell. Anybody likes the big beads? I know some of y'all like the big beads. So you get 2 bags of these wonderful metal beads. Then you get this whole bag of these painted, call them like swirl glass. These beautiful purple, black, and gold. Beautiful beads. So you get that whole bag. That whole bag probably is worth the $15 right there. So you get that. So that's there. And then you get these large wooden beads. Large hole. They had a 5 millimeter hole at least. Painted wooden beads. Kimberly says, it's baseball season for my son, and it's always tax season for me, so no time for anything I want to do, or everything I want to do. I get that. My nephew is really into baseball. So my family is always running around to baseball games. And sometimes they have baseball games here in town, so I actually get to go to some and watch them play, which is nice when I'm able to do that. All right, here's a new one. Ooh, this is cool. I don't know where you found these things.
Don't worry about it.
These are really cool. What in the world? Somebody's gonna grab this one, I'm sure. Because if you don't, this is weird and odd and only $10. So you
That
get,
make it nice.
yeah, it is. Look at these. So cool.
Everybody's so creative.
Where does that come from?
That's that lady that does this stuff on Instagram and TikTok or whatever.
This one just sold. I knew it was going to sell. This is too cool not to. And it's such a good price. I'll just keep showing you a few of these, then we'll go back to reviewing. But yeah, my nephew, he does baseball. My niece is in gymnastics. And they're both in soccer. Oh, somebody tried to buy this one again. Sorry. Already sold. Already sold.
Everyone's so creative.
So creative. I don't know what that is. Did you send that to me?
I'm sure I did.
I don't remember seeing that one. I think I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up.
Are you?
I think so. I think so.
Are you ever really caught up?
No, never. Andrew always sends me things. Andrew's good about that. If you're friends with Andrew, if he thinks about you, he will send you stuff. All right, what one?
Everybody's so creative.
6 has not sold yet. Let's take a look at 6. Mix number 6. I think Dominion's a little bit behind on the thing. She's talking about colors right now. So I think you're a little bit behind. You might want to scroll forward. If you're on YouTube, you can always watch in the past. They let you do that, unlike Facebook that doesn't let you. Let's see here. So this is mix 6, $16. You get these vintage plastic. I think these are Italian. That's from our friend Ava. Vintage Italian, vintage plastic. And then the bright pink. And these wavy disc beads that I love. Wavy disc beads. I love these. I love the color in these too. And then you get the glass pearls. And then you get these dyed shell. And again, you can string these so you can see the string going through. You can float things in between, which is kind of cool. So if you got some turquoise rounds in there, you could float in there. Be really pretty. All different things, whatever you want really, but I think it would look particularly nice with some turquoise. Mix, or you could float. There you go. You can put these in there, right there. Float those in there. Mixed number 6, $16. Charlie says, I appreciate that. There's a lot of recipes I need to try. What do you appreciate? Oh, you send her stuff. Oh, you talk food.
Sometimes cats.
Sometimes cats. Are you sending her the book videos? No.
I don't think she reads that kind of
Doesn't read that kind of book. Andrew's been finding these hilarious books. The one today was really good.
The dude or the lady?
Oh, I didn't see a dude, I don't think.
Oh.
I saw the lady. There was a dude you sent?
I don't think I sent it. I posted it.
Oh, I was
And
thinking
of
about the
course,
lady.
I posted it when somebody's picking up the wine fridge, so I had that blasting on the speaker.
Did somebody actually pick that up? Oh, good.
People got kind of mad because they wanted it. Multiple people want it. I said, I'm not holding stuff anymore.
No.
So if you want it, you gotta get
It's
it.
first come, first serve. All the stuff that's still on the porch was the stuff we tried to hold for people.
Like a graveyard out on the porch.
Things got ruined because people weren't picking them up.
Mm-hmm. So the vacuum cleaner is probably no longer working.
No.
Table no longer good.
No longer good. That desk, that poor desk.
They just need to be burnt at this point.
You get this vintage Czech glass with this one. This is MIX17, only $12 for this kit. These are about 7mm faceted rounds in Czech glass. Then you get these vintage Chinese ceramic glazed ceramic beads. These are really pretty. These are more colorful than a lot of the vintage Chinese ceramic.
Hey, do you have a triangle and little baggies?
I have little baggies. I can say yes to that. But I think your triangle is not up here.
Then there's nothing to do with it.
Because last time you had to use something else other than the triangle. But we couldn't find a triangle last time either.
This is where there's the most of them right there, is at the cottage.
I don't know. I have some of them at the cottage. There should be at least one here though. Mix17 has just sold. Thank you so much. You're gonna get these leafy beads. And this strand is well worth the whole kit. I love these like puffy cubes in this glass. It looks like somebody blew them up, overfilled them, and you get this whole huge strand. So thank you, the person who grabbed that one. Lena says we need more orange. So you want orange? You gotta. We did. The first one was orange. Nobody wanted it, so he stopped doing orange, I guess. I don't know.
I did orange. Remember the $30 Michael Facet?
Oh yeah, 18. That one did sell. No. 8.
18?
It was 8, and that one did sell. Yes.
I'm on 18 now.
You're on 18 now. Julie says those cubes are fantastic. Yes, they are. Good deal. Good deal. Charlie says I feel like those puffy cubes. I feel like that some days too.
You know what that reminds me of? In Dungeons and Dragons, they have like a cube that they get and they like melt.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm not that into
Dungeons and Dragons. Charlie says I'm sewing a little pillow from my Coraline taffy bowl. Gelatinous cube. They do look like gelatinous little cubes. It's good things, good times. All right, what one did we leave off on? 6 we looked at. 7 is still available, which I can't believe because these are awesome. These vintage Czech glass. I've got some people in the online store lately that have been going wild for the vintage Czech glass. So I might have to strand these up, and because these I think will sell real quick. And normally when we put these together, we sell them by a strand. That's what, about that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of them there. Maybe find another one. And then those are $6 to $7 a strand. So that would be the price of the kit there. And then you get these. These are the vintage Chinese ceramic as well, in the little brown with the gold. So those go really well. Like that's like an ear. Like Andrew just made you an earring kit right here. Put one of those on there. Put one of those. You got a little drop earring. These all go so well together. You can make a bunch of little earrings and sell them for, you make more than $12. That's for sure. MIX7.
Did you see the Lady Gaga one?
I did. I watched that today too. I like that. I like when she sings.
She's actually a singer.
Yes, she is. She's a, what is she, a concert pianist?
She went on Howard Stern and did a re-song of Abracadabra.
Yeah, if you like Abracadabra, watch her in her Howard Stern interview. She has a piano and she sings it kind of classically. It's really cool. I still like the radio version of Abracadabra, of course, but
That's more of a dance one.
it is definitely a dance one. Yeah. All right, everybody. Andrew just broke the bank on this one. This was worth the price of this kit before. This cloisonne piece. Vintage cloisonne. Beautiful. Right there, that should have been $24. And it has been in the past. I know that. Probably it was more than that, actually.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. There's holes. It's drilled top to bottom this way. Let me flip it. It'll be this way. Beautiful vintage cloisonne with that white. For those of you who collect white beads, that's a beautiful addition for those white beads. Kimberly says, oh, wow, how did I miss that one? You may not have seen it yet.
You're kind of new.
Yeah, you're new-ish, so you may not have ever seen this go. So we had that. That's not all, though, that you get in this kit. It could be. It could be, and that would be worth the price. But Andrew's throwing in these awesome. Look at these. I don't even know what you call that finish. Multicolor. Old glass. Rainbow finish. Look at that. So these are super cool. Glass beads. These are rare or odd or different. So you get that bunch of those. Same coloring. You got the blues, you got the oranges, kind of yellowish colors in there, a little bit of the hints of red. Lennis is like faux raku, kind of, right? And then you get this whole bag, the whole bag of these Millefiori. What are these called? Yeah, the Millefiori.
Those are based off of old ones, but they're not actually old.
Yeah, these are not old. They're modern reproductions, modern-ish.
90s.
Yeah, so still vintage.
Is that vintage? I don't know.
That's antique, technically, but
keep moving.
We're antiques. And this kit has sold. Thank you so much. But you're getting all of those, plus this. Both of these things are probably $24 each, and then these. So lots of good stuff in that kit. Thank you so much to the person who grabbed that. Oh, somebody else just tried to grab it. Sorry. Sold. Gotta be quick when you see the first good thing like that. You just buy it. Gotta be quick.
Looks like that guy with the dollar. Almost got it.
Oh, lures people with that dollar.
It's like an
All right, so that was 18. We reviewed 7, 8 sold, 9 sold, 10 is still available. Let's review.
No.
No, you got another one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, he's got another one. I got you $1, says Charlie.
Okay. Where is it?
He's like, where is it? Give me the $1.
I'll take some cookies instead.
I could use some cookies right now.
Did you get anything sweet?
No.
I'm like shivering.
You're shivering for lack of sweets?
No.
Oh. Poor Andrew.
With that a fit?
Have a fit because you can't get your sugar? Your sugar fix?
I'm low blood sugar, I think.
I don't know. Eating the food will be good for that.
And plus, some kind of sweet.
Some
I
kind
probably
of sweet.
should skip. But oh well. No.
Well, you have to skip because we ain't got none.
We want the things we want. And then we're out of flour. And you're buying flour.
Oh, are we out of flour?
I can't like whip up some kind
Can't
of
whip up a
syrup
cake?
from like dirt.
Dirt.
Sawdust.
You're good, but not that good?
I'm sure I could.
Ooh, look at this one. Orange and pink and gold. Charlie says, the old fisherman would say that, LOL. I need to get you guys to live closer.
I'm not moving.
Then I can just walk over the cookies and cakes.
Nah, our house. I don't want to move.
He's like, I don't want to do it.
This one, I might move from. I like this our house, but see, here's the conundrum. So if we move, I want to kind of get a house at the cottage and just have everything at the cottage.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, I'm like, I'm gonna get this building. I'm gonna get this.
I know you wanted to collect them all.
And now I'm kind of like, let's get rid of them. Let's just streamline. Nobody goes to the store anyway. So I'll just have the store in the bead room.
Right. Open it up to people when they want to come.
And then we'll have like a ring doorbell, and then you can like be in the house, and then somebody comes up to the door, and then you can just run
Open
over.
it. Yeah. You can give key codes to people we trust. They want to come in and work, hang out
in the studio.
I
don't know, but my room is I don't know if I'm gonna give up. Maybe we'll save up enough to do like heat in the upstairs and reinforce the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll move my studio up there.
Oh, you're gonna be upstairs then.
Yeah, so then that way I can we can have the bead room be this store.
Yeah, where are we gonna film stuff?
I'm sure you got another area.
You've got another area.
An unexplored
We could
area.
still use the part of the bead room. It's quite big.
And just move that somewhere else.
These fiber optic beads are some of my favorite things ever. If you don't know, every time we see them and show them on the show and I talk about how much I love them.
You can move it over where the gallery is. Because if you have a gallery, then we won't want it in the bead room.
All
there you
these
go.
things.
Configuration
22. Right. I love these vintage. These are vintage glass. Look at these. Little faceted little pillows. Faceted rectangles. A juicy orange. Orange, pink, and gold. I love, love, love this little mix. Mix 19. $12. Let me give you some measurements and some of this stuff. Kimberly says, I'm going to enjoy a late night bowl of ice cream.
How come Kimberly gets them and Andrew doesn't? Well.
Well. These are 8 by approximately 12.
Too rounded. Is that why I'm not allowed to have sweets?
I just don't think to get them when I'm out. I think to get chips, but I never think to get sweets.
Then where is it?
Well, I didn't get those either because you told me you weren't eating things like that. He tells me not to get them, and then I get in trouble for not getting them. I just have to know.
All right, let's just be honest.
You just have to know that you're lying.
No, not that I'm lying. You just have to be in tune with the source.
Oh.
The force.
The source and the force. Look at this little check glass Buddha. He's in source. He's in touch with the source and the force. Aren't those cool? I love these little glass drops, faceted drops. 12 by 19, 12 millimeters, and 22. No, not 22. 12.2. 12. Beautiful MX19. Charlie says, how about a flourless chocolate cake?
No chocolate.
There's no chocolate in this house.
See how he does me, y'all? Isn't that ground like the old timey? They said the piece of cheese is ground for divorce.
Is that what they used to say?
I don't remember. There was some French law if a man can't provide like cheese for his wife, it's like grounds for divorce.
The only grounds for divorce.
No, it wasn't the only one, but it was like her right as like a citizen of France to get cheese or something.
I kind of remember that. Yeah. Ooh. No, I think there is something. There is something to that. I've never checked the validity of that, but I do. But I do remember that. Look at this Larimar.
I made that almost red.
Yeah, that strand last night. Those strands I think were $32. This one is different. It's not as colorful. But look Very nice Larimar. So you
And
get,
I think this is the last lot for tonight.
this is it? We're stopping at 20.
So we need to keep it.
Yeah, I feel it too.
I'm getting shivery.
I feel the need to eat. So this is the Larimar, and then you've got the vintage glass rondelles with that metallic finish. Really pretty. See, Lennis says with gout, high fructose corn syrup is bad. So William loves you, Andrew.
Yeah, but I like to eat.
Charlie says I'd come in and leave cookies and pet the cats.
Well, how about you move over here?
See, you gotta move.
Yeah. You don't got a job. You can just move here.
And then you get this Allegory Gallery fine pewter hammered toggle.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
You are gonna get in trouble.
There's a friendship over.
Friendship over. No more meme sharing. Then you get this vintage.
That's what happens when I eat my candy.
You're right, fructose corn syrup candy.
And some candy right now. Ooh, peanut M&Ms. Let's do it.
And
That's
then
protein.
4 millimeters.
That's that blue quartz.
Blue quartz.
Probably died. I don't know.
Blue quartz.
Somebody lost their mind on the blue quartz, and so I dug and dug and dug. I found it, and then they're like, well.
Oh, well, don't want it anymore.
They didn't say that. They ghosted me.
They didn't even say that. Mix 20. You get this is worth the Larimar strand, period. And then this rest of this stuff is included for free.
And that one would be probably double, because the other one wasn't inexpensive either.
What's that?
The quartz was like that much too.
Yeah, that quartz is like, that's like a 26, 28,
So there you go.
$32 strand. Mix 20, $26 only. And that's the last strand for tonight. We're weaning on energy.
I'm like careening on the edge of not glory.
The edge of not glory. All right, y'all. That's good for tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we should do it tonight. Let's just end it, because I gotta eat.
All right, we gotta eat. I'm not gonna flip the camera on because I had an allergic reaction. My face is all puffy.
No, it's not anymore.
It's not anymore. It feels like my lip still is. My lip was swollen all day. So we're gonna go. I'm worn out. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here with stuff from Harry Wood tomorrow night. Have a great one, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.